The Tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, William Shakespeare. Characters are: Claudius, King of Denmark; Hamlet, son to the late, and nephew to the present king; Polonius, Lord Chamberlain; Horatio, friend to Hamlet; LAERTES, son to Polonius; Lucianus, nephew to the king; VOLTIMAND, CORNELIUS; ROSENCRANTZ, GUILDENSTERN and OSRIC are courtiers. There is a gentleman and a priest. Marcellus and Bernardo are officers. Francisco is a soldier. Reynaldo, servant to Polonius. Players and 2 clowns, gravediggers. Fortinbras, Prince of Norway, a captain. English ambassadors: Gertrude, Queen of Denmark, and mother to Hamlet; Ophelia, daughter to Polonius, ghost of Hamlet's father; and then lords, ladies, officers, soldiers, sailors, messengers, and other attendants. Scene: Denmark. Act 1, Scene 1, Elsinore, a platform before the castle. Francisco at his post. Enter to him Bernardo. Bernardo: who's there? Francisco: nay, answer me. Stand, and unfold yourself. Bernardo: long live the king. Francisco: Bernardo, Bernardo, he. Francisco: you come most carefully upon your hour. Bernardo: 'tis now struck 12, get thee to bed. Francisco: Francisco: for this relief much thanks, 'tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart. Bernardo: have you had quiet guard? Francisco: not a mouse stirring. Bernardo: well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste. Francisco: I think I hear them. Stand, ho, who's there? Enter Horatio and Marcellus. Horatio: friends to this ground. Marcellus: and liegemen to the Dane. Francisco: give you good night. Marcellus: oh, farewell, honest soldier, who hath relieved you? Francisco: Bernardo has my place. Give you good night. Exit Marcellus. Holla. Bernardo: Bernardo, say, what, is Horatio there? Horatio: a piece of him. Bernardo: welcome, Horatio, welcome, good Marcellus. Marcellus: what, has this thing appeared again tonight? Bernardo: I have seen nothing. Marcellus: Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him touching this dreaded sight, twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it. Horatio: tush, tush, 'twill not appear. Bernardo: sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears, that are so fortified against our story what we have tonight seen. Horatio: well, sit we down, and let us hear Bernardo speak of this. Bernardo: last night of all, when yond same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illume that part of heaven where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating 1, enter ghost. Marcellus: peace, break thee off, look, where it comes again. Bernardo: in the same figure, like the king that's dead. Marcellus: thou art a scholar, speak to it. Horatio: Bernardo: looks it not like the king? Mark it. Horatio: Horatio: most like, it harrows me with fear and wonder. Bernardo: it would be spoke to. Marcellus: question it. Horatio: Horatio: what art thou that usert street this time of night, together with that fair and wall-like form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march by heaven? I charge thee, speak. Marcellus: it is offended. Bernardo: see, it stalks away. Horatio: stay, speak, speak. I charge thee, speak. Exit ghost. Marcellus: 'tis gone, and will not answer. Bernardo: how now, Horatio, you tremble and look pale, is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on't? Horatio: before my God, I might not this believe without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes. Marcellus: is it not like the king? Horatio: as thou art thyself, such was the very armor he had on when he the ambitious Norway combated, so frowned he once, when, in an angry parle, he smote the sledded Polacs on the ice. 'Tis strange. Marcellus: thus twice before, and jump at this dead hour, with martial stalk hath he gone by our watch. Horatio: in what particular thought to work I know not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state. Marcellus: good now, sit down, and tell me, he that knows, why this same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land, and why such daily cast of brazen cannon, and foreign mart for implements of war, Why such impressive shipwrights, whose sore task does not divide the Sunday from the week? What might be toward, that this sweaty haste doth make the night joint labourer with the day? Who is that can inform me? Horatio. That can I, at least, the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even but now appeared to us, was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway, thereto pricked on by a most emulate pride, dead to the combat, in which our valiant Hamlet, for so this side of our known world esteemed him, did slay this Fortinbras, who by a sealed compact, well ratified by law and heraldry, did forfeit, with his life, all those his lands which he stood seized of, to the conqueror, against the which, a moiety competent was gauged by our king, which had returned to the inheritance of Fortinbras, had he been vanquisher, as, by the same covenant, and carriage of the article designed, his felt to Hamlet. Now, sir, young Fortinbras, of unimproved metal hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway here and there shot up a list of lawless resolutes, for food and diet, to some enterprise that hath a stomach in't, which is no other, as it doth well appear unto our state, but to recover of us, by strong hand and terms compulsatory, those foresaid lands so by his father lost, and this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations, the source of this our watch and the chief head of this post-haste and romage in the land. Bernardo, I think it be no other but e'en so, well may it sort that this portentous figure comes armed through our watch, so like the king that was and is the question of these wars. Horatio, a mote it is to trouble the mind's eye in the most high and palmy state of Rome, a little ere the mightiest Julius fell, the graves stood tenantless and the sheeted dead did squeak and gibber in the Roman streets, as stars with trains of fire and dews of blood, disasters in the sun, and the moist star upon whose influence Neptune's empire stands was sick almost to doomsday with eclipse, and even the like precursor of fierce events, as harbingers preceding still the fates and prologue to the omen coming on, have heaven and earth together demonstrated unto our climatures and countrymen, but soft, behold lo, where it comes again, re-enter ghost, I'll cross it, though it blast me, stay, illusion if thou hast any sound, or use of voice, speak to me, if there be any good thing to be done, that may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me, cock-crows if thou art privy to thy country's fate, which, happily, foreknowing may avoid, oh, speak or if thou hast uphoarded in thy life extorted treasure in the womb of earth, for which, they say, you spirits oft walk in death, speak of it, stay, and speak, stop it, Marcellus, Marcellus, shall I strike at it with my partisan, Horatio, do, if it will not stand, Bernardo, 'tis here, Horatio, 'tis here, Marcellus, 'tis gone, exit ghost, we do it wrong, being so majestical, to offer it the show of violence, for it is, as the air, invulnerable, and our vein blows malicious mockery, Bernardo, it was about to speak, when the cock crew, Horatio, and then it started like a guilty thing upon our fearful summons, I have heard, the cock, that is the trumpet to the morn, doth with his lofty and shrill-sounding throat await the god of day, and, at his warning, whether in sea or fire, in earth or air, the extravagant and erring spirit hies to his confine, and of the truth herein this present object made probation, Marcellus, it faded on the crowing of the cock. Some say that ever against that season comes wherein our Saviour's birth is celebrated, the bird of dawning singeth all night long, and then, they say, no spirit dares stir abroad, the nights are wholesome, then no planets strike, no fairy takes, nor witch hath power to charm, so hallowed and so gracious is the time, Horatio, so have I heard and do in part believe it. But, look, the morn, in russet mantle clad, walks o'er the dew of yon high eastward hill, break we our watch up, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet, for, upon my life, this spirit, dumb to us, will speak to him. Do you consent we shall acquaint him with it, as needful in our loves, fitting our duty, Marcellus, let's do't, I pray, and I this morning know where we shall find him most conveniently. Excellent scene 2, a room of state in the castle, enter King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, Hamlet, Polonius, Laertes, Voltimand, Cornelius, lords, and attendants. King Claudius, though yet of Hamlet our dear brother's death the memory be green, and that it has befitted to bear our hearts in grief and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe, yet so far hath discretion fought with nature that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves therefore our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and a dropping eye, with mirth in funeral and with dirge in marriage, in equal scale weighing delight and dole, taken to wife, nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along. For all, our thanks now follows, that you know, young Fortinbras, holding the weak supposal of our worth, or thinking by our late dear brother's death our state to be disjoint and out of frame, colleagued with the dream of his advantage, he had not failed to pester us with message, importing the surrender of those lands lost by his father, with all bonds of law, to our most valiant brother. So much for him now for ourself and for this time of meeting, thus much the business is, we have here it to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, who, impotent and bedrid, scarcely hears of this his nephew's purpose, to suppress his further gate herein, in that the levies, the lists and full proportions, are all made out of his subject, and we here dispatch you, good Cornelius, and you, Voltimand, for bearers of this greeting to old Norway, giving to you no further personal power to business with the king, more than the scope of these delated articles allow. Farewell, and let your haste commend your duty, Cornelius and Voltimand, in that and all things will we show our duty. King Claudius, we doubt it nothing, heartily farewell, Exeunt Voltimand and Cornelius. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit, what is Laertes? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane, and lose your voice, what wouldst thou beg? Laertes, that shall not be my offer, not die asking. The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth, than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have? Laertes, Laertes, my dread lord, your leave and favour to return to France, from whence though willingly I came to Denmark, to show my duty in your coronation, yet now, I must confess, that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again toward France and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon. King Claudius, have you your father's leave? What says Polonius? Lord Polonius, he hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laboursome petition, and at last upon his will I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go. King Claudius, take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet, and my son, Hamlet, aside, a little more than kin, and less than kind. King Claudius, how is it that the clouds still hang on you? Hamlet, not so, my lord, I am too much I the sun. Queen Gertrude, good Hamlet, cast thy nighted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lid seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou know street 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity. Hamlet, aye, madam, it is common. Queen Gertrude, if it be, why seems it so particular with thee? Hamlet, seems, madam, nay it is, I know not. Seems 'tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath, no, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected haviour of the visage, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief, that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play, but I have that within which passeth show, these but the trappings and the suits of woe. King Claudius, 'tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father, but, you must know, your father lost a father, that father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow, but to persevere in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness, 'tis unmanly grief, it shows a will most incorrect to heaven, a heart unfortified, a mind impatient, an understanding simple and unschooled, for what we know must be and is as common as any the most vulgar thing to sense. Why should we in our peevish opposition take it to heart? Fie, 'tis our fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is death of fathers, and who still hath cried, from the first course till he that died today, this must be so. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father, for let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart toward you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here, in the cheer and comfort of our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son, Queen Gertrude. Let not thy mother lose her prayers. Hamlet, I pray thee, stay with us, go not to Wittenberg. Hamlet, I shall in all my best obey you, madam. King Claudius, why, 'tis our loving and a fair reply, be as yourself in Denmark. Madam, come, this gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart, in grace whereof, no jocund help that Denmark drinks today, but the great cannon to the clouds shall tell, and the kings rouse the heavens all brute again, speaking earthly thunder, come away, exeunt all but Hamlet. Hamlet, oh, that this too solid flesh would melt Thor and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. O God, God, how weary, stale, flat and unprofitable, seem to me all the uses of this world fie and defy. 'Tis an unweeded garden, that grows to seed, things rank and gross in nature possess it merely, that it should come to this but 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2, so excellent a king, that was, to this, Hyperion to a satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the wines of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth must I remember why, she would hang on him, as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet, within a month, let me not think on't, frailty, thy name is woman, a little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body, like Niobe, all tears, why she, even she, oh, God of beasts, that once discourse of reason, would have mourned longer, married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules, within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married, oh, most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets it is not nor it cannot come to good, but break, my heart, for I must hold my tongue. Enter Horatio, Marcellus, and Bernardo. Horatio, hail to your lordship. Hamlet, I am glad to see you well, Horatio, or I do forget myself. Horatio, the same, my lord, and your poor servant ever. Hamlet, sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you, and what make you from Wittenberg? Horatio, Marcellus, Marcellus, my good lord. Hamlet, I am very glad to see you. Good even, sir, but what, in faith, make you from Wittenberg? Horatio, a truant disposition, good my lord. Hamlet, I would not hear your enemy say so, nor shall you do mine ear that violence, to make it truster of your own report against yourself. I know you are no truant, but what is your affair in Elsinore will teach you to drink deep ere you depart. Horatio, my lord, I came to see your father's funeral. Hamlet, I pray thee, do not mock me, fellow student, I think it was to see my mother's wedding. Horatio, indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon. Hamlet, thrifts, Horatio, the funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I had seen that day. Horatio, my father, methinks I see my father. Horatio, where, my lord? Hamlet, in my mind's eye. Horatio, I saw him once, he was a goodly king. Hamlet, he was a man, take him for all in all, I shall not look upon his like again. Horatio, my lord, I think I saw him yesternight. Hamlet, saw who? Horatio, my lord, the king your father. Hamlet, the king my father. Horatio, season your admiration for a while with an attent ear, till I may deliver, upon the witness of these gentlemen, this marvel to you. Hamlet, for God's love, let me hear. Horatio, 2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch, in the dead vast and middle of the night, being thus encountered, a figure like your father, armed at point exactly, cap a pie, appears before them, and with solemn march goes slow and stately by them. Thrice he walked by their oppressed and fear-surprised eyes, within his truncheon's length, whilst they, distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy impart they did, and I within the 3rd night kept the watch, where, as they had delivered, both in time, form of the thing, each word made true and good, the apparition comes, I knew your father. These hands are not more like. Hamlet, but where was this? Marcellus, my lord, upon the platform where we watched. Hamlet, did you not speak to it? Horatio, my lord, I did, but answer made it none. Yet once methought it lifted up its head and did address itself to motion, like as it would speak, but even then the morning cock crew loud, and at the sound it shrunk in haste away, and vanished from our sight. Hamlet. 'Tis very strange, Horatio, as I do live, my honoured lord, 'tis true, and we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it. Hamlet. Indeed, sirs, but this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight, Marcellus. Bernardo. We do, my lord. Hamlet. Armed, say you? Marcellus. Bernardo. Armed, my lord. Hamlet. From top to toe, Marcellus. Bernardo. My lord, from head to foot. Hamlet. Then saw you not his face? Horatio. Oh, yes, my lord, he wore his beaver up. Hamlet. What? Looked he frowningly? Horatio. A countenance more in sorrow than in anger. Hamlet. Pale or red? Horatio. Nay, very pale. Hamlet. And fixed his eyes upon you? Horatio. Most constantly. Hamlet. I would I had been there. Horatio. It would have much amazed you. Hamlet. Very like. Stayed it long? Horatio. While one with moderate haste might tell 100. Marcellus. Bernardo. Longer. Horatio. Not when I sought. Hamlet. His beard was grizzled? No. Horatio. It was, as I have seen it in his life, a sable silvered. Hamlet. I will watch tonight, perchance 'twill walk again. Horatio. I warrant it will. Hamlet. If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tenable in your silence still, and whatsoever else shall hap tonight, give it an understanding, but no tongue. I will requite your loves. So, fare you well. Upon the platform, twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you, all, our duty to your honour. Hamlet. Your loves, as mine to you, farewell. Exeunt all but Hamlet. My father's spirit in arms, all is not well, I doubt some foul play, would the night were come. Till then sit still, my soul, foul deeds will rise, though all the earth overwhelm them, to men's eyes. Exit Scene 3. A room in Polonius' house. Enter Laertes and Ophelia. Laertes. My necessaries are embarked, farewell, and, sister, as the wines give benefit and convoys assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you. Ophelia. Do you doubt that? Laertes. For Hamlet in the trifling of his favour, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature, forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting, the perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more. Ophelia. No more but so? Laertes. Think it no more, for nature, crescent, does not grow alone in thews and bulk, but, as this temple waxes, the inward service of the mind and soul grows wide withal. Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soil nor courtal doth besmirch the virtue of his will, but you must fear, his greatness weighed, his will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for on his choice depend the safety and health of this whole state, and therefore must his choice be circumscribed unto the voice and yielding of that body whereof he is the head. Then if he says he loves you, it fits your wisdom so far to believe it as he in his particular act and place may give his saying deed, which is no further than the main voice of Denmark goes withal. Then weigh what loss your honour may sustain, if with too credential you list his songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia, fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection. Out of the shot and danger of desire the chariest maid is prodigal enough. If she unmask her beauty to the moon, virtue itself scapes not calumnious strokes. The canker bores the infants of the spring, too oft before their buttons be disclosed, and in the morn and liquid dew of youth contagious blastments are most imminent. Be wary then, best safety lies in fear, youth to itself rebels, though none else near. Ophelia. I shall the effect of this good lesson keep, as watchman to my heart, but, good my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whiles, like a puffed and reckless libertine, himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed. Laertes. Oh, fear me not I stay too long, but here my father comes. Enter Polonius. A double blessing is a double grace, occasion smiles upon a second leave. Lord Polonius. Yet here, Laertes aboard, for shame the wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee, and these few precepts in thy memory see thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new-hatched, unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, beg that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice, take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy, rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France of the best rank and station are of a most select and generous chief, in that neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow, as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee, LAERTES. Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord, Lord Polonius. The time invites you, go, your servants tend. LAERTES. Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you. Ophelia. 'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it. LAERTES. Farewell. Exit Lord Polonius. What is't, Ophelia, he hath said to you? Ophelia. So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet. Lord Polonius. Marry, well bethought, 'tis told me, he hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have of your ordinance been most free and bounteous. If it be so, so 'tis put on me, and that in way of caution, I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as it behoves my daughter and your honor. What is between you? Give me up the truth. Ophelia. He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me. Lord Polonius. Affection? Poor, you speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them? Ophelia. I do not know, my lord, what I should think. Lord Polonius. Marry, I'll teach you. Think yourself a baby, that you have ta'en these tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, or, not to crack the wind of the poor phrase, running it thus, you'll tender me a fool. Ophelia. My lord, he hath importuned me with love in honourable fashion. Lord Polonius. Ay, fashion you may call it. Go to. Ophelia. And had given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven. Lord Polonius. Ay, springes to catch woodcocks. I do know, when the blood burns, how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. These blazes, daughter, giving more light than heat, extinct in both, even in their promise, as it is making, you must not take for fire. From this time be somewhat scanter of your maiden presence, set your entreatments at a higher rate than a command to parley. For Lord Hamlet, believe so much in him, that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk than may be given you. In few, Ophelia, do not believe his vows, for they are brokers, not of that dye which their investments show, but mere implorators of unholy suits, breathing like sanctified and pious bawds, the better to beguile. This is for all, I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth, have you so slander any moment leisure, as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to't, I charge you, come your ways. Ophelia. I shall obey, my lord. Excellent scene 4. The platform. Enter Hamlet, Horatio, and Marcellus. Hamlet. The air bites shrewdly, it is very cold. Horatio. It is a nipping and an eager air. Hamlet. What hour now? Horatio. I think it lacks of 12. Hamlet. No, it is struck. Horatio. Indeed, I heard it not. Then it draws near the season wherein the spirit held his wont to walk. A flourish of trumpets, and ordnance shot off. Within what does this mean, my lord? Hamlet. The king doth wake tonight and takes his rouse, keeps wassail, and the swaggering upspring reels, and, as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle drum and trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his pledge. Horatio. Is it a custom? Hamlet. Ay, marry, is't, but to my mind, though I am native here and to the manor born, it is a custom more honoured in the breach than the observance. This heavy-headed revel east and west makes us traduce and taxed of other nations. They cleap us drunkards, and with swinish phrase soil our addition, and indeed it takes from our achievements, though performed at height, the pith and marrow of our attributes. So, oft it chances in particular men, that for some vicious mole of nature in them, as, in their birth, wherein they are not guilty, since nature cannot choose his origin, by the overgrowth of some complexion, oft breaking down the pales and forts of reason, or by some habit that too much leavens the form of plausive manners, that these men, carrying, I say, the stamp of one defect, being nature's livery, or fortune's star, their virtues else, be they as pure as grace, as infinite as man may undergo, shall in the general censure take corruption from that particular fault. The drama yieldeth all the noble substance of a doubt to his own scandal. Horatio. Look, my lord, it comes. Enter Ghost. Hamlet. Angels and ministers of grace, defend us. Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned, bring with thee airs from heaven or blast from hell, be thy intents wicked or charitable, thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, king, father, royal Dane. Oh, answer me, let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonized bones, hearsed in death, have burst their cerements, why the sepulchre, wherein we saw thee quietly inurned, hath oped his ponderous and marble jaws, to cast thee up again. What may this mean, that thou, dead corse, again in complete steel revisit street, thus the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous, and we fools of nature so horridly to shake our disposition with thoughts beyond the reaches of our souls say, why is this, wherefore what should we do? Ghost beckons Hamlet. Horatio. It beckons you to go away with it, as if it some impartment did desire to you alone. Marcellus. Look, with what courteous action it waves you to a more removed ground, but do not go with it. Horatio. No, by no means. Hamlet. It will not speak, then I will follow it. Horatio. Do not, my lord. Hamlet. Why, what should be the fear? I do not set my life in a pin's fee, and for my soul, what can it do to that? Being a thing immortal as itself, it waves me forth again, I'll follow it. Horatio. What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord, or to the dreadful summit of the cliff that beetles o'er his base into the sea, and there assumes some other horrible form, which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think of it, the very place puts toys of desperation, without more motive, into every brain that looks so many fathoms to the sea and hears it all beneath. Hamlet. It waves me still. Go on, I'll follow thee. Marcellus. You shall not go, my lord. Hamlet. Hold off your hands. Horatio. Be ruled, you shall not go. Hamlet. My fate cries out, and makes each petty artery in this body as hardy as the Nemean lion's nerve. Still am I called. Unhand me, gentlemen, by heaven, I'll make a ghost of him that lets me, I say, away. Go on, I'll follow thee. Exeunt Ghost and Hamlet. Horatio. He waxes desperate with imagination. Marcellus. Let's follow, 'tis not fit thus to obey him. Horatio. Have after. To what issue will this come? Marcellus. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Horatio. Heaven will direct it. Marcellus. Nay, let's follow him. Exeunt Scene 5. Another part of the platform. Enter Ghost and Hamlet. Hamlet. Where wilt thou let me speak? I'll go no further. Ghost. Mark me. Hamlet. I will. Ghost. My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself. Hamlet. Alas, poor Ghost. Ghost. Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold. Hamlet. Speak, I am bound to hear. Ghost. So art thou to revenge, when thou shalt hear. Hamlet. What? Ghost. I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house, I could a tale unfold whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes, like stars, start from their spheres, thy knotted and combined locks to part and each particular hair to stand on end, like quills upon the fretful porpentine. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List, lists, oh, list if thou didst ever thy dear father love. Hamlet. O God. Ghost. Revenge is foul and most unnatural murder. Hamlet. Murder. Ghost. Murder most foul, as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange and unnatural. Hamlet. Haste me to note, that I, with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love, may sweep to my revenge. Ghost. I find thee apt, and duller shouldst thou be than the fat weed that roots itself in ease on Lethe wharf, wouldst thou not stir in this. Now, Hamlet, here, 'tis given out that, sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me, So the whole era of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But no, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown. Hamlet, O my prophetic soul, my uncle, ghost, I, that incestuous, that adulterate beasts, with witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts, O wicked wit and gifts, that have the power so to seduce, one to his shameful lust the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. O Hamlet, what a falling off was there from me, whose love was of that dignity that it went hand in hand even with the vow he made to her in marriage, and to decline upon a wretch whose natural gifts were poor to those of mine but virtue, as it never will be moved, though lewdness caught it in a shape of heaven, so lust, though to a radiant angel linked, will sate itself in a celestial bed, and prey on garbage but, soft methinks I scent the morning air, brief let me be, sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon my secure hour that I uncle stole, with juice of cursed Hebron in a vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of man that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigour doth posset and curd, like eager droppings into milk, the thin and wholesome blood. So did it mine, and our most instant heterbart about, most laser-like, with vile and loathsome crusts, all my smooth body thus was I, sleeping, by a brother's hand of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off even in the blossoms of my sin, unhouseled, disappointed, unannaled, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Oh, horrible, most horrible if thou hast nature in thee, bear it not, let not the royal bed of Denmark be couched for luxury and damned incest but, howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught, leave her to heaven and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge, to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once the glowworm shows them at him to be near, and gins to pale his uneffectual fire. Adieu, adieu, Hamlet, remember me, exit Hamlet. O all you host of heaven, O earth what else and shall I couple hell, O, fie, hold, my heart, and you, my sinews, grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up, remember the eye, thou poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, remember the yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all sores of books, all forms, all precious pasts, that youth and observation copy there, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven, O most pernicious woman, O villain, smiling, damned villain, my tables, meet it as I set it down, that one may smile, and be a villain, at least I'm sure it may be so in Denmark. Writing so, uncle, there you are, now to my word, it is adieu, remember I have sworn T. Marcellus, Horatio, within, my lord, Marcellus, within, Lord Hamlet, Horatio, within, heaven secure him, Hamlet, so be it, Horatio, within, hillo, ho, my lord, Hamlet, hillo, ho, boy come, bird, come, enter Horatio and Marcellus. Marcellus, how is my noble lord, Horatio, what news, my lord, Hamlet, oh, wonderful, Horatio, good my lord, tell it, Hamlet, no, you'll reveal it, Horatio, not I, my lord, by heaven, Marcellus, nor I, my lord, Hamlet, how say you, then, would heart of man once think it but you'll be secret, Horatio, Marcellus, I, by heaven, my lord, Hamlet, there's near a villain dwelling in all Denmark but he's an arrant knave, Horatio, there needs no ghosts, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this, Hamlet, why, right, you are either right, and so, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part, you, as your business and desires shall point you, for every man has business and desire, such as it is, and for mine own poor part, look you, I'll go pray, Horatio, these are but wild and whirling words, my lord, Hamlet, I'm sorry they offend you, heartily, yes, faith heartily, Horatio, there's no offence, my lord, Hamlet, yes, by Saint Patrick, but there is, Horatio, and much offence too, touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost, that let me tell you, for your desire to know what is between us, O master T as you may, and now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request. Horatio, what is my lord? We will. Hamlet, never make known what you have seen tonight. Horatio, Marcellus, my lord, we will not. Hamlet, nay, but swear't. Horatio, in faith, my lord, not I. Marcellus, nor I, my lord, in faith. Hamlet, upon my sword. Marcellus, we have sworn, my lord, already. Hamlet, indeed, upon my sword, indeed. Ghost, beneath, swear. Hamlet, ah, ha, boy say street thou, so art thou there. True penny, come on, you hear this fellow in the cellarage, consent to swear. Horatio, propose the oath, my lord. Hamlet, never to speak of this that you have seen, swear by my sword. Ghost, beneath, swear. Hamlet, hicket you beat, then we'll shift our ground. Come hither, gentlemen, and lay your hands again upon my sword, never to speak of this that you have heard, swear by my sword. Ghost, beneath, swear. Hamlet, well said, old mole, canst work I the earth so fast, a worthy pioneer, once more remove, good friends. Horatio, O day and night, but this is wondrous strange. Hamlet, and therefore as a stranger give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy, but come, here, as before, never, so help you mercy, how strange your odds ere I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you, at such times seeing me, never shall, with arms encumbered thus, or this head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase, as well, we know, or we could, and if we would, or if we list to speak, or there be, and if they might, or such ambiguous giving out, to note that you know aught of me, this not to do, so grace and mercy at your most need help you, swear. Ghost, beneath, swear. Hamlet, rests, perturbed spirit, they swear so, gentlemen, with all my love I do commend me to you, and what so poor a man as Hamlet is may do, to express his love and friending to you, God willing, shall not lack. Let us go in together, and still your fingers on your lips, I pray the time is out of joint, O cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together. Exeunt. Act 2, Scene 1, a room in Polonius' house. Enter Polonius and Reinaldo. Lord Polonius, give him this money and these notes. Reinaldo, I will, my lord. Lord Polonius, you shall do marvellous wisely, good Reinaldo, before you visit him, to make inquire of his behaviour. Reinaldo, my lord, I did intend it. Lord Polonius, marry, well said, very well said. Look you, sir, inquire me first what Danskos are in Paris, and how, and who, what means, and where they keep, what company, at what expense, and finding by this encompassment and drift of question that they do know my son, come you more nearer than your particular demands will touch it, take you, as 'twere, some distant knowledge of him, as thus, I know his father and his friends, and impart him, do you mark this, Reinaldo? Reinaldo, I, very well, my lord. Lord Polonius, and impart him, but you may say not well, but, if be he I mean, he is very wild, addicted so, and there put on him what forgeries you please, marry, none so rank as may dishonour him, take heed of that, but, sir, such wanton, wild and usual slips as are companions noted and most known to youth and liberty. Reinaldo, as gaming, my lord. Lord Polonius, I, or drinking, fencing, swearing, quarrelling, drabbing, you may go so far. Reinaldo, my lord, that would dishonour him. Lord Polonius, faith, no, as you may season it in the charge you must not put another scandal on him, that he is open to incontinency, that's not my meaning, but breathe his faults so quaintly that they may seem the taints of liberty, the flash and outbreak of a fiery mind, a savageness in unreclaimed blood, of general assault. Reinaldo, but, my good lord, Lord Polonius, wherefore should you do this? Reinaldo, I, my lord, I would know that. Lord Polonius, marry, sir, here's my drift, and I believe, it is a fetch of wit, you laying these slight sullies on my son, as 'twere a thing a little soiled either working, mark you, your party in converse, him you would sound, having ever seen in the prenominate crimes the youth you breathe of guilty, be assured he closes with you in this consequence, good sir, also or, friend or, gentleman according, to the phrase or the addition of man and country. Reinaldo, Very good, my lord, Lord Polonius. And then, sir, does he this? He does. What was I about to say? By the mass, I was about to say something. Where did I leave? Reynaldo. At closes in the consequence, at friend or so, and gentleman, Lord Polonius. At closes in the consequence, I, marry, he closes thus. I know the gentleman, I saw him yesterday, or t'other day, or then, with such, or such, and, as you say, there was a gaming, there o'ertook in's rouse, there falling out at tennis, or perchance, I saw him enter such a house of sale, videlicet, a brothel, or so forth. See you now, your bait of falsehood takes this carp of truth, and thus do we of wisdom and of each, with windlasses and with assays of bias, by indirections find directions out, so by my former lecture and advice, shall you my son, you have me, have you not? Reynaldo, my lord, I have. Lord Polonius, God be with you, fare you well. Reynaldo, good my lord, Lord Polonius, observe his inclination in yourself. Reynaldo, I shall, my lord, Lord Polonius, and let him ply his music. Reynaldo, well, my lord, Lord Polonius, farewell. Exit Reynaldo, enter Ophelia. How now, Ophelia, what's the matter? Ophelia, oh, my lord, I have been so affrighted. Lord Polonius, with what? I the name of God. Ophelia, my lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unbraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, ungartered, and down jibed to his ankle, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous in purport as if he had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors, he comes before me. Lord Polonius, mad for thy love. Ophelia, my lord, I do not know, but truly, I do fear it. Lord Polonius, what said he? Ophelia, he took me by the wrist and held me hard, then goes he to the length of all his arm, and, with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so, at last, a little shaking of mine arm and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being, that done, he lets me go, and, with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out o' doors he went without their helps, and, to the last, bended their light on me. Lord Polonius, come, go with me, I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property foredoes itself and led the will to desperate undertakings as oft as any passion under heaven that does afflict our natures. I am sorry. What, have you given him any hard words of late? Ophelia, no, my good lord, but, as you did command, I did repel his fetters and denied his access to me. Lord Polonius, that hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment he had not quoted him. I feared he did but trifle, and meant to wreck thee, but, beshrew my jealousy by heaven, it is as proper to our age to cast beyond ourselves in our opinions as it is common for the younger sort to lack discretion. Come, go we to the king, this must be known, which, being kept close, might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love. Excellent scene 2, a room in the castle. Enter King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and attendants. King Claudius, welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover that we much did long to see you, the need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation, so call it, sith nor the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was, what it should be, more than his father's death, that thus hath put him so much from the understanding of himself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that, being of so young days brought up with him, and sit so neighboured to his youth and behaviour, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies to draw him on to pleasures, and to gather, so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught, to us unknown, afflicts him thus, that, opened, lies within our remedy. Queen Gertrude, good gentleman, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am 2 men there are not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to expend your time with us a while, for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance. Rosencrantz, both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty. Guildenstern, but we both obey, and here give up ourselves, in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet, to be commanded. King Claudius, thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern. Queen Gertrude, thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz, and I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. Go, some of you, and bring these gentlemen where Hamlet is. Guildenstern, heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him. Queen Gertrude, aye, amen. Exeunt Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and some attendants sent to Polonius. Lord Polonius, the ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returned. King Claudius, thou still hast been the father of good news. Lord Polonius, have I, my lord? I assure my good liege, I hold my duty, as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king, and I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not the trail of policy so sure as it hath used to do, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy. King Claudius, oh, speak of that do I long to hear. Lord Polonius, give first admittance to the ambassadors, my news shall be the fruit of that great feasts. King Claudius, thyself do grace to them, and bring them in. Exit Polonius. He tells me, my dear Gertrude, he hath found the head and source of all your son's distemper. Queen Gertrude, I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death, and our hasty marriage. King Claudius, well, we shall sift him. Re-enter Polonius, with Voltimand and Cornelius. Welcome, my good friends. Say, Voltimand, what from our brother Norway? Voltimand, most fair return of greetings and desires upon our firsts. He sent out to suppress his nephew's levies, which to him appeared to be a preparation against the Polack, but, better looked into, he truly found it was against your highness, whereat grieved, that so his sickness, age and impotence was falsely borne in hand, sends out arrests on Fortinbras, which he, in brief, obeys, receives rebuke from Norway, and in fine makes vow before his uncle never more to give the assay of arms against your majesty, whereon old Norway, overcome with joy, gives him 3,000 crowns in annual fee, and his commission to employ those soldiers, so levied as before, against the Polack, with an entreaty, herein further shown, giving a paper, that it might please you to give quiet pass through your dominions for this enterprise, on such regards of safety and allowances therein are set down. King Claudius, it likes us well, and at our more considered time well read, answer, and think upon this business. Meantime we thank you for your well-took labour. Go to your rests, at night we'll feast together, most welcome home. Exeunt Voltimand and Cornelius. Lord Polonius, this business is well ended, my liege, and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night night, and time is time, we're nothing but to waste night, day and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad, mad call I it, for, to define true madness, what is but to be nothing else but mad? But let that go. Queen Gertrude, more matter, with less art. Lord Polonius, madam, I swear I use no art at all that he is mad. 'Tis true, 'tis true, 'tis pity, and pity 'tis true, a foolish figure, but farewell it, for I will use no art. Mad let us grant him, then, and now remains that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather say, the cause of this defect, for this effect defective comes by cause, thus it remains, and the remainder thus. Perpend I have a daughter, have while she is mine, who, in her duty and obedience, mark, hath given me this, now gather, and surmise, reads, to the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. That's an ill phrase, a vile phrase, beautified ice a vile phrase, but you shall hear, thus, reads, in her excellent white bosom, these, and see, Queen Gertrude, came this from Hamlet to her. Lord Polonius, good madam, stay a while, I will be faithful, reads, doubt thou the stars afire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love thee, dear Ophelia. I am ill at these numbers, I have not art to reckon my groans, but that he love thee best, O most best, believe it, addeth thee evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him, Hamlet, this, in obedience, hath my daughter shown me, and more above, had his solicitings, as they fell out by time, by means and place, all given to mine ear. King Claudius, but how hath she received his love? Lord Polonius, what do you think of me? King Claudius, as of a man faithful and honourable. Lord Polonius, I would fain prove so, but what might you think, when I had seen this hot love on the wing, as I perceived it, I must tell you that, before my daughter told me, what might you, or my dear Majesty your Queen here, think, if I had played the desk or table book, or given my heart a winking, mute and dumb, or looked upon this love with idle sight, what might you think? No, I went round to work, and my young mistress thus I did bespeak, Lord Hamlet is a prince, out of thy star, this must not be, and then I precepts gave her, that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens, which done, she took the fruits of my advice, and he, repulsed, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, thence to a watch, thence into a weakness, thence to a lightness, and, by this declension, into the madness wherein now he raves, and all we mourn for. King Claudius, do you think 'tis this, Queen Gertrude? It may be, very likely. Lord Polonius, hath there been such a time? I'd fain know that I have positively said 'tis so, when it proved otherwise. King Claudius, not that I know. Lord Polonius, pointing to his head and shoulder, take this from this, if this be otherwise, if circumstances led me, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the centre. King Claudius, how may we try it further? Lord Polonius, you know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby. Queen Gertrude, so he does indeed. Lord Polonius, at such a time I loose my daughter to him, be you and I behind an arras then, mark the encounter, if he love her not and be not from his reason found thereon, let me be no assistant for a state, but keep a farm and carters. King Claudius, we will try it. Queen Gertrude, but, look, where sadly the poor wretch comes reading. Lord Polonius, away, I do beseech you, both away, I'll board him presently. Exeunt King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, and attendants. Enter Hamlet, reading. Oh, give me leave, how does my good Lord Hamlet? Hamlet, well, God a mercy. Lord Polonius, do you know me, my lord? Hamlet, excellent, well, you are a fishmonger. Lord Polonius, not I, my lord. Hamlet, then I would you were so honest a man. Lord Polonius, honest, my lord. Hamlet, I, sir, to be honest, as this world goes, is to be a man picked out of 10,000. Lord Polonius, that's very true, my lord. Hamlet, for if the sun breed maggots in a dead dog, being a god-kissing carrion, have you a daughter? Lord Polonius, I have, my lord. Hamlet, let her not walk by the sun, conception is ablessing, but not as your daughter may conceive. Friend, look to tea. Lord Polonius, aside, how say you by that? Still harping on my daughter, yet he knew me not at first, he said I was a fishmonger, he is far gone, and truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love, very near this. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord? Hamlet, words, words, words. Lord Polonius, what is the matter, my lord? Hamlet, between who? Lord Polonius, I mean, the matter that you read, my lord. Hamlet, slanders, sir, for the satirical rogue says Herod that old men have grey beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hams, all which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down, for yourself, sir, should be old as I am, if like a crab I could go backward. Lord Polonius, aside, though this be madness, yet there is method in tea. Will you walk out of the air, my lord? Hamlet, into my grave. Lord Polonius, indeed, that is out o' the air. Aside, how pregnant sometimes his replies are, a happiness that often madness it's on, which reason and sanity could not so prosperously be delivered of. I will allay him, and suddenly contrive the means of meeting between him and my daughter. My honourable lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you. Hamlet, you cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part with all, except my life, except me life, except my life. Lord Polonius, fare you well, my lord. Hamlet, these tedious old fools. Enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Lord Polonius, you go to seek the Lord Hamlet, there he is. Rosencrantz, to Polonius, God save you, sir. Exit Polonius. Guildenstern, my honoured lord. Rosencrantz, my most dear lord, Hamlet, my excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern, Rosencrantz, good lads, how do you both, Rosencrantz, as the indifferent children of the earth, Guildenstern, happy, in that we are not over happy, on fortune's cap we are not the very button, Hamlet, nor the soles of her shoe, Rosencrantz neither, my lord, Hamlet, then you live about her waists, or in the middle of her favours, Guildenstern, faith, her privates we, Hamlet, in the secret parts of fortune, oh, most true, she's a strumpet, what's the news, Rosencrantz, none, my lord, but that the world's grown honest, Hamlet, then is doomsday near, but your news is not true. Let me question more in particular, what have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune, that she sends you to prison hither, Guildenstern, prison, my lord, Hamlet, Denmark's a prison, Rosencrantz, then is the world one, Hamlet, a goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst, Rosencrantz, we think not so, my lord, Hamlet, why, then, 'tis none to you, for there is nothing the good or bad, but thinking makes it so, to me 'tis a prison, Rosencrantz, why then, your ambition makes it one, 'tis too narrow for your mind, Hamlet, O God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams, Guildenstern, which dreams indeed are ambition, for the very substance of the ambitious is merely the shadow of a dream, Hamlet, a dream itself is but a shadow, Rosencrantz, truly, and I hold ambition of so airy and light actuality that it is but a shadow's shadow, Hamlet, then are our beggars' bodies, and our monarchs and outstretched heroes the beggars' shadows, shall we tow the court for, by my fay, I cannot reason, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, will wait upon you, Hamlet, no such matter, I will not sort you with the rest of my servants, for, to speak to you like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended, but, in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore, Rosencrantz, to visit you, my lord, no other occasion, Hamlet, beggar that I am even poor in thanks, but I thank you, and sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear a halfpenny, were you not sent for, is it your own inclining, is it a free visitation, come, deal justly with me, come, nay, speak, Guildenstern, what should we say, my lord, Hamlet, why, anything, but to the purpose, you were sent for, and there is a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to colour, I know the good king and queen have sent for you, Rosencrantz, to what end, my lord, Hamlet, that you must teach me, but let me conjure you, by rights of our fellowship, by the consonancy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved love, and by what more dear or better propose a cold charge you withal, be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for, or no, Rosencrantz, aside to Guildenstern, what say you, Hamlet, aside, nay, then, I have an eye of you, if you love me, hold not off, Guildenstern, my lord, we were sent for, Hamlet, I will tell you why, so shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather, I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, foregone our custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory, this most excellent canopy, the air, look you, this bravia the hanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire, why, it appears no other thing to me than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapours. What a piece of work is a man, how noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving, how express and admirable in action, how like an angel in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet, to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not no, nor woman neither, though by your smiling eye seem to say so, Rosencrantz, my lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts, Hamlet, why did you laugh then, when I said man delights not me, Rosencrantz, to think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what wanton entertainment the players shall receive from our, we coated them on the way, and hithereth he coming, to offer you service, Hamlet, he that plays the king shall be welcome, his majesty shall have tribute of me, the adventurous knight shall use his foil and target, the lover shall not sigh gratis, the humorous man shall end his part in peace, the clown shall make those laugh hosselungs are tickled o' the seer, and the lady shall say her mind freely, or the blank verse shall halt fort. What players are they, Rosencrantz, even those you were wont to take delight in, the tragedians of the city? Hamlet. How chances it they travel their residence, both in reputation and profit, was better both ways, Rosencrantz. I think their inhibition comes by the means of thought innovation. Hamlet. Do they hold the same estimation they did when I was in the city? They so followed. Rosencrantz. No, indeed, are they not? Hamlet. How comes it do they grow rusty? Rosencrantz. Nay, their endeavour keeps in the wonted pace, but there is, sir, an area of children, little asses, that cry out on the top of question, and are most tyrannically clapped for't. These are now the fashion, and so rattle the common stages, so they call them, that many wearing rapiers are afraid of gusquils and scarce come thither. Hamlet. What, are they children who maintain them how they escoted? Will they pursue the quality knowledge than they can sing? Will they not say afterwards, if they should grow themselves to come on players, as it is most like, if their means are no better, their writers do them wrong, to make them exclaim against their own succession? Rosencrantz. Faith, there has been much to do on both sides, and the nation holds it no sin to tar them to controversy. There was, for a while, no money bid for argument, unless the poet and the player went off in the question. Hamlet. Is possible, Guildenstern. Oh, there has been much throwing about of brains. Hamlet. Do the boys carry it away? Rosencrantz. Aye, that they do, my lord, Hercules and his load too. Hamlet. It is not very strange, for mine uncle is king of Denmark, and those that would make mows at him whilom me father lived, give 20, 40, 50, and 100 ducats apiece for his picture in little splod. There is something in this more than natural, if philosophy could find it out. Flourish of trumpets within. Guildenstern. There are the players. Hamlet. Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore, your hands, come then, the appurtenance of welcome is fashion and ceremony, let me comply with you in this garb, lest my extent to the players, which, I tell you, must show fairly outward, should more appear like entertainment than yours. You are welcome, but my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived. Guildenstern. In what, my dear lord? Hamlet. I am but mad north-northwests, when the wind I southerly I know a hawk from a handsaw. Enter Polonius. Lord Polonius. Well be with you, gentlemen. Hamlet. Hark you, Guildenstern, and you too, at each hera, that great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clouts. Rosencrantz. Happily he's the second time come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child. Hamlet. I will prophesy he comes to tell me of the players. Mark it, you say right, sir. O Monday morning, 'twas so indeed. Lord Polonius. My lord, I have news to tell you. Hamlet. My lord, I have news to tell you. When Rosseus was an actor in Rome, Lord Polonius. The actors are come hither, my lord. Hamlet. Buzz, buzz. Lord Polonius. Upon mine honour. Hamlet. Then came each actor on his ass. Lord Polonius. The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, pastoral comical, historical pastoral, tragical historical, tragical comical historical pastoral, scene indivisible, or poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too heavy, nor Plautus too light, for the law of written celibacy. These are the only men. Hamlet. O Jephthah, judge of Israel, what a treasure hadst thou, Lord Polonius. What a treasure had he, my lord. Hamlet. Why, one fair daughter and no more, the which he loved passing well. Lord Polonius. Aside, still on my daughter. Hamlet. Am I not either right, old Jephthah? Lord Polonius. If you call me Jephthah, my lord, I have a daughter that I love passing well. Hamlet. Nay, that follows not. Lord Polonius. What follows, then, my lord? Hamlet. Why, as by lot, God wot, and then, you know, it came to pass, as most like it was, the first row of the page chancel will show you more, for look, where my abridgment comes, enter 4 or 5 players. You are welcome, masters, welcome, all. I am glad to see thee well. Welcome, good friends. Oh, my old friend, thy face is valenced since I saw thee last. Comest thou to beard me in Denmark? What, my young lady and mistress? By our lady, your ladyship, I is nearer to heaven than when I saw you last. By Theltitude of a chopine. Pray God, your voice, like a piece of uncurrent gold, be not cracked within their ring. Masters, you are all welcome. We'll lay and tote like French falconers, fly at anything we see. We'll have a speech straight. Come, give us a toasty of your quality. Come, a passionate speech. First player, what speech? My lord, Hamlet, I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted, or, if it was, not above once, for fair play, I remember, please not the million, 'twas scavier to the general, but it was, as I received it, and others, whose judgments in such matters grid in the top of mine, an excellent play, well digested in the scenes, set down with as much modesty as cunning. I remember, one said there were no sallets in the lines to make the matter savoury, nor no matter in the phrase that might indict the author of affectation, but called it an honest method, as wholesome as sweet, and by very much more handsome than fine. One speech in it itchy fly loved, 'twas in his tale to Dido, and very bout of it especially, where he speaks of Priam slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line, let me see, the rugged Pius, like the Hyrcanian beasts, it's not so, it begins with Pius, the rugged Pius, he whose sable arms, black as his purpose, did the knight resemble when he lay couched in the ominous horse, hath now this dread and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal, head to foot now is he total gules, horridly tricked with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and impasted with the parching streets, that lend a tyrannous and damned light to their lord's murder, roasted in wrath and fire, and thus are sized with coagulate gore, with eyes like carbuncles, the hellish Pius old grandsire Priam seeks so, proceed you, Lord Polonius, for God, my lord, well spoken, with good accent and discretion. First player and he finds him striking too short at Greeks, his antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command, unequal matched, Pius at Priam drives, in rage strikes wide, but with the wave and wind of his fell sword the unnerved father falls, then senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, with flaming top stoops to his base, and with a hideous crash takes prisoner Pius' ear, for, lo his sword, which was declining on the milky head of reverend Priam, seemed I the air to stick, so, as our painted tyrant, Pius stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing but, as we often see, against some storm, a silence in the heavens, the rack stands still, the bold wind speechless and the all billows hush as death, and in the dreadful thunder doth rend the region, so, after Pius' pause, aroused vengeance sets him new a work, and never did the Cyclops hammers fall on Mars' armor forged for proof a turn with less remorse than Pius' bleeding sword now falls on Priam out, thou strumpet, Fortune, all you gods, in general sin take away her power, break all the spokes and fellies from her wheel, and bowl the round nave down the hill of heaven, as low as to the fiends Lord Polonius. This is too long, Hamlet, it shall to the barbers, with your beard, prithee, say on, he's for a jig or a tale of bawdry, or heleps, say on, come to Hecuba. First player but who had seen the mobled queen, Hamlet, the mobled queen Lord Polonius, that's good, mobled queen is good, first player run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with bison room, a clout upon that head where late the diadem stood, and for a robe, about her lank and all ortined loins, a blanket, in the alarm of fear caught up, who this had seen, with tongue in venom steeped, 'gainst fortune's state would treason have pronounced, but if the gods themselves did see her then when she saw Pius make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamour that she made, unless things mortal move them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven, and passion in the gods. Lord Polonius, look, whether he has not turned his colour and has tears in his eyes, pray you, no more, Hamlet, 'tis well, I'll have thee speak out the rest soon good my lord, will you see the players well bestowed, do you hear, let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of their time, after your death you had better have a good epitaph than their ill report while you live. Lord Polonius, my lord, I will use them according to their desert. Hamlet, God's bodykins, man, much better, use every man after his desert, and who should scape whipping use them after your own honour and dignity, the less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty take them in. Lord Polonius, come, sirs, Hamlet, follow him, friends, we'll hear a play tomorrow. Exit Polonius with all the players but the firsts. Dost thou hear me, Old friend, can you play the murder of Gonzago? First player I, my lord, Hamlet, will heart tomorrow night. You could, for a need, study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines, which you would set down and insert int, could you not? First player I, my lord, Hamlet, very well. Follow that lord, and look you mock him not. Exit first player. My good friends, I'll leave you till night. You will welcome to Elsinore, Rosencrantz. Good my lord, Hamlet. I, so, God be with ye, exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all his visage wand, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do, had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak, like John a dreams, unprenant of my cause, and can say nothing, no, not for a king, upon whose property and most dearly fidam defeat was made. Am I a coward who calls me villain, breaks my patercross, plucks off my beard, and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie at the throat, as deep as to the lungs? Who does me this harsh wounds? I should take it, for it cannot be but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this he should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's awful, bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh, vengeance, why, what an ass am I! This is most brave, that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words, and fall a cursing, like a very drab, a scullion fire pontful, about my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the senate been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions, for murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks, I'll tend him to the quick, if he but blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape, yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play is a thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. Exit. Act 3, Scene 1, a room in the castle. Enter King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, Polonius, Ophelia, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern. King Claudius, and can you, by no drift of circumstance, get from him why he puts on this confusion, grating so harshly all his days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacy? Rosencrantz, he does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak. Guildenstern, nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but, with a crafty madness, keeps aloof, when we would bring him on to some confession of his true state. Queen Gertrude, did he receive you well? Rosencrantz, most like a gentleman. Guildenstern, but with much forcing of his disposition. Rosencrantz, niggard question, but, of our demands, most free in his reply. Queen Gertrude, did you assay him to any pastime? Rosencrantz, madam, it so fell out, that certain players we are wrought on the way, of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are about the court, and, as I think, they have already ordered this night to play before him. Lord Polonius, 'tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter. King Claudius, with all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentleman, give him a further edge, and drive his purpose on to these delights. Rosencrantz, we shall, my lord. Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. King Claudius, sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may here affront Ophelia, her father and myself, lawful espials, will so bestow ourselves that, seeing, unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge, and gather by him, as he is behaved, if he be the affliction of his love or know that thus he suffers for. Queen Gertrude, I shall obey you and for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness, so shall I hope your virtues will bring him to his wonted way again, to both your honours. Ophelia, Madam, I wish it may. Exit Queen Gertrude. Lord Polonius, Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please you, we will bestow ourselves. To Ophelia, read on this book, that show of such an exercise may colour your loneliness. We are oft to blame in this, 'tis too much proved, that with devotion's visage and pious action we do sugar the devil himself. King Claudius, aside, oh, 'tis too true how smart a lash that speech doth give my conscience. The harlot's cheek, beautied with plastering art, is not more ugly to the thing that helps it than is my deed to my most painted word. O heavy burthen, Lord Polonius, I hear him coming, let's withdraw, my lord. Exeunt King Claudius and Polonius. Enter Hamlet. Hamlet, to be, or not to be, that is the question, whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to so we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life, for who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin who would fardels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Soft you now the fair Ophelia, nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered. Ophelia, good my lord, how does your honour for this many a day? Hamlet, I humbly thank you, well. Ophelia, my lord, I have remembrances of yours, that I have longed to redeliver, I pray you, now receive them. Hamlet, no, not I never gave you aught. Ophelia, my honoured lord, you know right well you did, and, with them, words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich, their perfume lost. Take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind there, my lord. Hamlet, ha, are you honest? Ophelia, my lord. Hamlet, are you fair? Ophelia, what means your lordship? Hamlet, that if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty. Ophelia, could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty? Hamlet, aye, truly, for the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to abhor than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now that time gives it proof. I did love you once. Ophelia, indeed, my lord, you made me believe so. Hamlet, you should not have believed me, for virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock but we shall relish off it. I loved you not. Ophelia, I was the more deceived. Hamlet, get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offences at me bet than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do crawling between earth and heaven? We are arrant knaves, all, believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your father? Ophelia, at home, my lord. Hamlet, let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell. Ophelia, oh, help him, you sweet heavens. Hamlet, if thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for the dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery, go, farewell. Or, if thou wilt needs marry a fool, for wise men know well enow what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery, go, and quickly too. Farewell. Ophelia, O heavenly powers, restore him. Hamlet, I have heard of your paintings too, well enough. God has given you one face, and you make yourself another. you jig, you amble, and you lisp, and nickname God's creatures, and make your want honor ignorance. Go to, I'll no more on't, it hath made me mad. I say, we will have no more marriages, those that are married already, all but one, shall live, the rest shall keep as they are, to a nunnery, go, exit, Ophelia. Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown are courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mould of form, the observed of all observers, quite down and I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that suck the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled, out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form and feature of lone youth blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me, to have seen what I have seen, see what I see. Re-enter King Claudius and Polonius. King Claudius, love his affections do not that wait end, nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul, on which his melancholy sits on brood, and I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger, which for to prevent, I have in quick determination thus set it down, he shall with speed to England, for the demand of our neglected tribute haply the seas and countries different with variable objects shall expel this something settled matter in his heart, whereon his brain still beating puts him thus from fashion of himself. What think you on't, Lord Polonius? It shall do well, but yet do I believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia, you need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said, we heard it all. My lord, do as you please, but, if you hold it fit, after the play let his queen mother all alone entreat him to show his grief, let her be round with him, and I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their conference. If she find him not, to England send him, or confine him where your wisdom best shall think. King Claudius, it shall be so, madness in great ones must not unwod go. Excellent. Scene 2, a hall in the castle, enter Hamlet, and players. Hamlet, speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it how, trippingly on the tongue, but if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I had as lief that town crier spoke my lines, nor do not saw the too much with your hand, thus, but use all gently, for in the very torrent, tempest, and, as I may say, the whirlwind of passion, you must acquire an agitated temperance that may give it smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustio sparrow-wig-pated fellow tear a passion to tatters, tovery rags, to split the ears of the groundlings, who for the most part are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb chows and noise. I would have such a fellow wit for a word termagant, it out Herod, pray you, avoid it. First Clare, I warrant your honour. Hamlet, be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion bear your tutor, suit the action to the word, the word to the action, with this special o'erstep not the modesty of nature, for anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was and is, to hold, as 'twere, the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time his form and pressure. Now this overdone, or come tardy off, though it make the unskilful or, cannot but make the judicious grieve, the censure of the which one must in your allowance see away a whole theatre of others. Oh, there be players that I have seen play, and heard authors praise, and that highly, not to speak it profanely, that, neither having the accent of Christians nor the gait of Christian, pagan, nor man, have sostrated and bellowed that I have thought some oftenest journeymen had made men and not made them well, they imitated humanity so abominably. First Clare, I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us, Sir Hamlet. Oh, reform it altogether, and let those that play a clown speak no more than is set down for them, for there be of them that will themselves laugh, toss it on some quantity of barren spectators to law too, though, in the meantime, some necessary question of the play be then to be considered, that's villainous, and shows a most pitiful ambition in the fool that uses it. Go, make you ready. Excellent players, enter Polonius, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern. How now, my lord, I will the king hear this piece of work, Lord Polonius, and the queen too, and that presently. Hamlet, bid the players make hastes. Exit Polonius. Will you two help to hasten them? Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. We will, my lord. Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Hamlet, what ho, Horatio, enter Horatio. Horatio, Here, sweet lord, at your service. Hamlet. Horatio, thou art e'en as just a man as e'er my conversation cope withal. Horatio. Oh, my dear lord. Hamlet. Nay, do not think I flatter, for what advancement may I hope from thee that no revenue hast but thy good spirits, to feed and clothe thee? Why should the poor be flattered? No, let the candid tongue lick absurd pomp, and crook the pregnant hinges of the new thrift may follow fawning. Dost thou hear? Since my dear soul was mistress of her choice and could of men distinguish, her election hath sealed thee for herself, for thou hast been as one, in suffering all, that suffers nothing, a man that fortune's buffets and rewards hast seen with equal thanks, and blessed are those whose blood and judgment are so well commingled, that they are not a pipe for fortune's finger to sound what stop she please. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, aye, in my heart of heart, as I do thee. Something too much of this. There is a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I have told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou sayest that act afoot, even with the very comment of thy soul observe mine uncle, if his occulted guilt do not itself unkennel in one speech, it is a dumb ghost that we have seen, and my imaginations are as foul as Vulcan's to thee. Give him heedful note, for mine eyes will rivet to his face, and after we will both our judgments join in censure of his seeming. Horatio. Well, my lord, if he steal aught the whilst this play is playing, and scape detecting, I will pay the thefts. Hamlet. They are coming to the play, I must be idle. Get you a place. Danish march. A flourish. Enter King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, Polonius, Ophelia, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and others. King Claudius. How fares our cousin Hamlet? Hamlet. Excellent, I' faith, of the chameleon's dish, I eat there, promise crammed, you cannot feed capons so. King Claudius. I have nothing with this answer. Hamlet. These words are not mine. Hamlet. No, nor mine now. To Polonius. My lord, you played once the university, you say? Lord Polonius. That did I, my lord, and was accounted a good actor. Hamlet. What did you enact? Lord Polonius. I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed the capital, Brutus killed me. Hamlet. It was a brute part of him to kill so capital a Calphia. Be the players ready? Rosencrantz. Aye, my lord, they stay upon your patience. Queen Gertrude. Come hither, my dear Hamlet, sit by me. Hamlet. No, good mother, here's metal more attractive. Lord Polonius. To King Claudius. Oh, how do you mark that? Hamlet. Lady, shall I lie in your lap? Lying down at Ophelia's feet. Ophelia. No, my lord. Hamlet. I mean, my head upon your lap. Ophelia. Aye, my lord. Hamlet. Do you think I meant country matters? Ophelia. I think nothing, my lord. Hamlet. That's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs. Ophelia. What is, my lord? Hamlet. Nothing. Ophelia. You are merry, my lord. Hamlet. Who? I. Ophelia. I, my lord. Hamlet. Oh God. You're only jig-maker. What should a man do but be merry for? Look you, how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within these 2 hours. Ophelia. Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord. Hamlet. So long. Nay then, let the devil wear black, for he'll have a suit of sables. Oh heavens, died 2 months ago, and not forgotten yet. Then the shope a great man's memory may outlive his life half a year, but, by a lady, he must build churches, then, or else shall he suffer not thinking on, with a hobby horse, whose epitaph is the hobby horse is forgot. Oh boys play. The dumb show enters. Enter a king and a queen very lovingly, the queen embracing him, and he her. She kneels, and makes show of protestation unto him. He takes her up, and declines his head upon her neck, lays him down upon a bank of flowers. She, seeing him asleep, leaves him. Anon comes in a fellow, takes off his crown, kisses it, and pours poison in the king's ears, and exit. The queen returns, finds the king dead, and makes passionate action. The poisoner, with some 2 or 3 mutes, comes in again, seeming to lament with her. The dead body is carried away. The poisoner woos the queen with gifts. She seems loath and unwilling a while, but in the end accepts his love. Excellent. Ophelia. What means this, my lord? Hamlet. Marry, this is Mitching Malecho, it means mischief. Ophelia. Belike this show imports the argument of the play. Enter prologue. Hamlet. We shall know by this fellow, The players cannot keep counsel, they'll tell all. Ophelia, will he tell us what this show meant? Hamlet, I, or any show that you'll show him, be not you ashamed to show, he'll not shame to tell you what it means. Ophelia, you are naught, I'll mark the play. Prologue, for us, and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently. Exit. Hamlet, is this our prologue, or the posy of a ring? Ophelia, 'tis brief, my lord. Hamlet, as woman's love. Enter two players, king and queen. Player king, full 30 times hath Phoebus' cart gone round Neptune's salt wash and telesorbed ground, and 30 dozen moons with borrowed sheen about the world have times 12 30s been, since love our hearts and high mended our hands unite commutual in most sacred bands. Player queen, so many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count or ere love be done, but, woe is me, you are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state, that I distrust you. Yet, though I discomfort you, my lord, it nothing must, for women's fear and love holds quantity, in neither ought, or in extremity now, what my love is, proof hath made you know, and as my love is sized, my fear is so. Where love is great, the littlest doubts are fear, where little fears grow great, great love grows there. Player king, faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too, my operant powers their functions leave to do, and thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honoured, beloved, and haply one as kind for husband shalt thou. Player queen, oh, confound the rest, such love must needs be treason in my breasts, in second husband let me be accursed, none wed the second but who kill the first. Hamlet, aside, wormwood. Player queen, the instance is that second marriage move a base respects of thrift, but none of love. A second time I kill my husband dead, when second husband kisses me in bed. Player king, I do believe you think what now you speak, but what we do determine oft we break purpose is but the slave to memory, of violent birth, but poor validity, which now, like fruit unripe, sticks on the tree, but fall, unshaken, when they mellow be most necessary to that we forget to pay ourselves what to ourselves is debt, what to ourselves in passion we propose, the passion ending, doth the purpose lose the violence of either grief or joy their own inactions with themselves destroy, where joy most revels, grief doth most lament, grief joys, joy grieves, on slender accident this world is not for I, nor 'tis not strange that even our love should with our fortunes change, for 'tis our question left us yet to prove, whether love led fortune, or else fortune loved the great man down. You mark his favourite flies, the poor advanced makes friends of enemies, and hitherto doth love on fortune tend, for who not need shall never lack a friend, and who in want a hollow friend doth try, directly seasons him his enemy. But, orderly to end where I begun, our wills and fates do so contrary run that our devices still are overthrown, our thoughts are ours, their ends none of our own, so think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead. Player queen, nor earth to me give food, nor heaven light sport and repose lock from me day and night, to desperation turn my trust and hope, and anchors cheer in prison be my scope, each opposite that blanks the face of joy meet what I would have well, and it destroy both here and hence. Pursue me lasting strife, if, once a widow, ever I be wife. Hamlet, if she should break it now. Player king, 'tis deeply sworn. Sweet, leave me here a while, my spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep. Sleeps, player queen, sleep rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain. Exit. Hamlet, madam, how like you this play? Queen Gertrude, the lady protests too much, methinks. Hamlet, oh, but she'll keep her word. King Claudius, have you heard the argument? Is there no offence in it? Hamlet, no, they do but jest, poison in jests, no offence i' the world. King Claudius, what do you call the play? Hamlet, the Mousetrap. Marry, how, tropically. This play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzago is the duke's name, his wife, Baptista, you shall sin, 'tis a knavish piece of work, but what owe that to your majesty and we that have free souls, it ouches us not. Let the galled jade wince, all withers are unwrung. Enter Lucianus. This is one Lucianus, nephew to the king. Ophelia, you are as good as a chorus, my lord. Hamlet, I could interpret between you and your love, if I could see the puppets dallying. Ophelia, you are keen, my lord, you are keen. Hamlet, it would cost you a groaning to take off my edge. Ophelia. Still better, and worse. Hamlet. So you must take your husbands. Begin, murderer. Pox, leave thy damnable faces, and begin. Come, the croaking raven doth bellow for revenge. Lucianus. Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, and time agreeing, confederate season, else no creature seeing, thou mixture rank, of midnight weeds collected, with her cate's ban thrice blasted, thrice infected, thy natural magic and dire property, on wholesome life usurp immediately, pours the poison into the sleeper's ears. Hamlet. He poisons him I the garden for's estate, his name's Gonzago, the story is extant, and writ in choice Italian, you shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzaga's wife. Ophelia. The king rises. Hamlet. What, frighted with false fire, Queen Gertrude, how fares my lord? Lord Polonius. Give o'er the play. King Claudius. Give me some light. Away, all lights, 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 exeunt all but Hamlet, and Horatio. Hamlet. Why, let the stricken deer go weep, the heart ungalled play, for some must watch, while some must sleep, so runs the world away. Would not this, sir, and a forest of feathers, I've the rest of my fortunes turn Turk with me, with 2 provincial roses on my raised shoes, get me a fellowship in a cry of players, sir. Horatio. Half a share. Hamlet. A whole one, for thou dost know, O Damon dear, this realm dismantled was of Jove himself, and now reigns Hera very, very, Paddock. Horatio. You might have rhymed. Hamlet. O good Horatio, I'll take the ghost's word for £1,000. Didst perceive? Horatio. Very well, my lord. Hamlet. Upon the talk of the poisoning. Horatio. I did very well note him. Hamlet. Ah, ha, come, some music come, the recorders, for if the king like not the comedy, why then, belike, he likes it not. Purdy come, some music. Re-enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Guildenstern. Good my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you. Hamlet. Sir, a whole history. Guildenstern. The king, sir. Hamlet. I, sir, what of him? Guildenstern. Is in his retirement marvellous distempered. Hamlet. With drink, sir. Guildenstern. No, my lord, rather with choler. Hamlet. Your wisdom should show itself more richer to signify this to his doctor, for me to put him to his purgation would perhaps plunge him into far more choler. Guildenstern. Good my lord, put your discourse into some frame and strut not so wildly from my affair. Hamlet. I am tame, sir, pronounce. Guildenstern. The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you. Hamlet. You are welcome. Guildenstern. Nay, good my lord, this courtesy is not to the right breed. If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment, if not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business. Hamlet. Sir, I cannot. Guildenstern. What, my lord? Hamlet. Make you a wholesome answer, my wit's diseased, but, sir, such answer as I can make, you shall command, or, rather, as you say, my mother, therefore no more, but to the matter, my mother, you say, Rosencrantz. Then thus she says, your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration. Hamlet. O wonderful son, that can so astonish a mother, beauty's there no sequel at the heels of this moth's admiration? Impart. Rosencrantz. She desires to speak with you in her closet, ere you now go to bed. Hamlet. We shall obey. Was she 10 times our mother? Have they now any further trade with us? Rosencrantz. My lord, you once did love me. Hamlet. So I do still, by these pickers and stealers. Rosencrantz. Good my lord, what is your cause of distemper? Iudo? Surely, bar the door upon your own liberty, I fire I'll deny your griefs to your friend. Hamlet. Sir, I lack advancement. Rosencrantz. How can that be, when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark? Hamlet. Aye, but sir, while the grass grows, the proverb is something musty. Re-enter players with recorders. Oh, the recorders, let me see one. To withdraw with our, why do you go about to recover the wind of me, as if you would drive me into a toil? Guildenstern. Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmanly. Hamlet. I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe? Guildenstern. My lord, I cannot. Hamlet. I pray you. Guildenstern. Believe me, I cannot. Hamlet. I do beseech you. Guildenstern, I know no touch of it, my lord. Hamlet, 'tis as easy as lying. Govern these ventages with our lingers and thumb, give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops. Guildenstern, but these cannot I command to any utterance of harmony, I have not the skill. Hamlet, why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of. You would play upon me, you would seem to know me stops, you would pluck out the heart of my mystery, you would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass, and there is much music, excellent voice, in this little organ, yet cannot I make it speak. Splud, do you think I am say to be played on the pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, yet you cannot play upon me. Enter Polonius. God bless you, sir, Lord Polonius. My lord, the Queen would speak with you, and presently. Hamlet, do you see yonder cloud that's almost in shape of a camel? Lord Polonius, by the mass, and 'tis like a camel, indeed. Hamlet, methinks it is like a weasel. Lord Polonius, it is backed like a weasel. Hamlet, or like a whale. Lord Polonius, very like a whale. Hamlet, then I will come to my mother by and by. They fool to the top of my vent, I will come by and by. Lord Polonius, I will say so. Hamlet, by and by is easily said. Exit Polonius. Leave me, friends, exeunt all but Hamlet. 'Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Now could I drink hot blood, and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on. Soft now to my mother, O heart, lose not thy nature, let not ever the soul of Nero enter this firm bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural, I will speak daggers to her, but use none. My tongue and soul in this be hypocrites, how in my words soever she be shent, to give them seals never, my soul, consent. Exit. Scene 3, a room in the castle. Enter King Claudius, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern. King Claudius, I like him not, nor stands it safe with us to let his madness range. Therefore prepare you, I your commission will forthwith dispatch, and he to England shall along with you. The terms of our estate may not endure hazard so dangerous as doth hourly grow out of his lunacies. Guildenstern, we will ourselves provide, most holy and religious fear it is to keep those many bodies safe that live and feed upon your majesty. Rosencrantz, the single and peculiar life is bound, with all the strength and armor of the mind, to keep itself from annoyance, but much more that spirit upon whose weal depend and rest the lives of many. The cease of majesty dies not alone, but, like a gulf, doth draw what's near it with it. It is a massy wheel, fixed on the summit of the highest mount, to whose huge spokes 10,000 lesser things immortized and adjoined, which, when it falls, each small annexment, petty consequence, attends the boisterous ruin. Never alone did the king sigh, but with a general groan. King Claudius, arm you, I pray you, to this speedy voyage, for we will fetters put upon this fear, which now goes too free-footed. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, we will haste us. Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Enter Polonius. Lord Polonius, my lord, he's going to his mother's closet behind the arras. I'll convey myself, to hear the process, and warrant she'll tax him home, and, as you said, and wisely was it said, 'tis meet that some more audience than a mother, since nature makes them partial, should o'erhear the speech, of vantage. Fare you well, my liege, I'll call upon you ere you go to bed, and tell you what I know. King Claudius, thanks, dear my lord. Exit Polonius. Oh, my offence is rank, it smells to heaven, it had the primal eldest curse upon't, a brother's murder. Pray can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and, like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I shall first begin, and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy but to confront the visage of offence, and what's in prayer but this twofold force, to be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned being down? Then I'll look up, my fault is past, but, oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder that cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition and my queen, may one be pardoned and retain the offence in the corrupted currents of this world. Offence is gilded and may shove by justice, and oft 'tis seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law, but 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling, there the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves compelled, even to the teeth and forehead of our faults, to give in evidence. What then, what rests, try what repentance can, what can it not, yet what can it when one cannot repent? O wretched state, O bosom black as death, O lime soul, that, struggling to be free, art more engaged. Help, angels, make us say bow, stubborn knees, and, heart with strings of steel, be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well, retires and kneels. Enter Hamlet. Hamlet, now might I do it, Pat, now he is praying, and now I do't, and so he goes to heaven, and so am I revenged. That would be scanned, a villain kills my father, and for that, I, his sole son, do this same villain send to heaven. Oh, this is hire and salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown, as flush as May, and how his audit stands who knows save heaven, but in our circumstance and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him, and am I then revenged, to take him in the purging of his soul, when he is fit in season for his passage? No up, sword, and know thou a more horrid hint, when he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in't, then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell, where to it goes. My mother stays, this physic but prolongs thy sickly days. Exit. King Claudius, rising, my words fly up, my thoughts remain below, words without thoughts never to heaven go. Exit. Scene 4, the Queen's closet. Enter Queen Gertrude and Polonius. Lord Polonius, he will come straight. Look, you lay home to him, tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that your grace hath screamed and stood between much heat and him. I'll sconce me even here, pray you, be round with him. Hamlet, within. Mother, mother, mother. Queen Gertrude, I warrant you, fear me not, withdraw, I hear him coming. Polonius hides behind the arras. Enter Hamlet. Hamlet, now, mother, what's the matter? Queen Gertrude, Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended. Hamlet, mother, you have my father much offended. Queen Gertrude, come, come, you answer with an idle tongue. Hamlet, go, go, you question with a wicked tongue. Queen Gertrude, why, how now? Hamlet, Hamlet, what's the matter now? Queen Gertrude, have you forgot me? Hamlet, no, by the rood, not so, you are the queen, your husband's brother's wife, and, would it were not so, you are my mother. Queen Gertrude, nay, then, I'll set those to you that can speak. Hamlet, come, come, and sit you down, you shall not budge, you go not till I set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you. Queen Gertrude, what wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help, help, ho. Lord Polonius, behind what? Ho, help, help, help. Hamlet, drawing, how now? A rat, dead, for a ducat, dead, makes our pass through the arras. Lord Polonius, behind, oh, I am slain, falls on dies. Queen Gertrude, oh me, what hast thou done? Hamlet, nay, I know not, is it the king? Queen Gertrude, oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this? Hamlet, a bloody deed almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king, and marry with his brother. Queen Gertrude, as kill a king. Hamlet, I, lady, 'twas my word, lifts up the array and discovers Polonius. Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool, farewell, I took thee for thy better, take thy fortune, thou fine street. To be too busy is some danger, leave wringing of your hands, peace, sit you down, and let me wring your heart, for so I shall, if it be made of penetrable stuff, if and custom have not brassed it so that it is proof and bulwark against my sense. Queen Gertrude, what have I done, that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me? Hamlet, such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love and sets a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as dice as oaths. Oh, such a deed as from the body of contraction plucks the very soul, and sweet religion makes a rhapsody of words, heaven's face doth glow, yea, this solidity and compound mass, with tristful visage, as against the doom, is thought sick at the act. Queen Gertrude, I may, what act, that roars so loud, and thunders in the index? Hamlet, look here, upon this picture, and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See, what a grace was seated on this brow, Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, an eye like Mars, to threaten and command, a station like the herald Mercury new lighted on a heaven-kissing hill, a combination and a form indeed, where every god did seem to set his seal, to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now, what follows? Here is your husband, like a mildew deer, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes could you on this fair mountain leave to feed, and batten on this moor? Ha, have you eyes you cannot call it love, for at your age the heyday in the blood is tame, it's humble, and waits upon the judgment, and what judgment would step from this to this? Sense, sure, you have, else could you not have motion, but sure, that sense is apoplexed, for madness would not err, nor sense to ecstasy was near so thralled but it reserved some quantity of choice, to serve in such a difference. What devil was that thus had cozened you at hoodom and blind eyes without feeling, feeling without sight, ears without hands or eyes, smelling son or but a sickly part of one true sense could not so mope o shame whereas thy blush, rebellious hell, if thou canst mutine in a matron's bones, to flaming youth let virtue be as wax, and melt in her own fire, proclaim no shame when the compulsive ardour gives the charge, since frost itself as actively doth burn and reason panders wail. Queen Gertrude, O Hamlet, speak no more, thou turn street mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and grained spots as will not leave their tinct. Hamlet, nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sty. Queen Gertrude, oh, speak to me no more, these words, like daggers, enter in mine ears, no more, sweet Hamlet, Hamlet, a murderer and villain, a slave that is not 20th part the tithe of your precedent lord, a vice of kings, a cutpurse of the empire and the rule, that from a shelf the precious diadem stole, and put it in his pocket. Queen Gertrude, no more, Hamlet, a king of shreds and patches, enter ghost, save me, and hover o'er me with your wings, you heavenly gods, what would your gracious figure? Queen Gertrude, alas, he's mad. Hamlet, do you not come your tardy son to chide, that, lapsed in time and passion, let's go by the important acting of your dread command. Oh, say, ghost, do not forget, this visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose but, look, amazement on thy mother sits, oh, step between her and her fighting soul, conceit in weakest body's strongest works, speak to her. Hamlet, Hamlet, how is it with you, lady? Queen Gertrude, alas, how is't with you, that you do bend your eye on vacancy and with the incorporeal air do hold discourse forth at your eyes your spirits wildly peep, and, as the sleeping soldiers in the alarm, your bedded hair, like life in excrements, starts up, and stands on end. O gentle sun, upon the heat and flame of thy distemper sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look? Hamlet, on him, look you, how pale he glares, his form and cause conjoined, preaching to stones, would make them capable. Do not look upon me, lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effects, then what I have to do will want true colour, tears perchance for blood. Queen Gertrude, to whom do you speak this? Hamlet, do you see nothing there? Queen Gertrude, nothing at all, yet all that is I see. Hamlet, nor did you nothing hear? Queen Gertrude, no, nothing but ourselves. Hamlet, why, look you there, look, how it steals away my father, in his habit as he lived, look, where he goes, even now, out at the portal, exit ghost. Queen Gertrude, this the very coinage of your brain, this bodiless creation ecstasy is very cunning in. Hamlet, ecstasy my pulse, as yours, doth temperately keep time, and makes as healthful music, it is not madness that I have uttered, bring me to the tests, and I the matter will reword, which madness would gamble from. Mother, for love of grace, lay not the mattering unction to your soul, that not your trespass, but my madness speaks, it will but skin and film the ulcerous place, whilst rank corruption, mining all within, infects unseen. Confess yourself to heaven, repent what's past, avoid what is to come, and do not spread the compost on the weeds, to make them ranker. Forgive me this my virtue, for in the fatness of this pursy times virtue itself at vice must pardon beg, yea, curb and woo for leave to do him good. Queen Gertrude, O Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain. Hamlet, oh, throw away the worser part of it, and live the purer with the other half. Good night, but go not to mine uncle's bed, assume a virtue, if you have it not, that monster, custom, who all sense doth eat, of habits devil, is angel yet in this, that to the use of actions fair and good he likewise gives a frock or livery, that aptly is put on, refrained tonight, and that shall lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence, the next more easy, for use almost can change the stamp of nature, and either, the devil, or throw him out with wondrous potency. Once more, good night, and when you are desirous to be blessed, I will blessing beg of you, for this same Lord, pointing to Polonius, I do repent, but heaven hath pleased it so, to punish me with this and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister I will bestow him, and will answer well the death I gave him. So, again, good night I must be cruel, only to be kind, thus bad begins and worse remains behind. One word more, good lady, Queen Gertrude, what shall I do? Hamlet, not this, by no means, that I bid you do, let the bloat king tempt you again to bed, pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, and let him, for a pair of riche kisses, or paddling in your neck with his damned fingers, make you to ravel all this matter out, that I essentially am not in madness, but mad in crafts. 'Twere good you let him know, for who, that's but a queen, fair, sober, wise, would from a paddock, from a bat, a jib, such dear concernings hide who would do so know, in despite of sense and secrecy, unpeg the basket on the house's top, let the birds fly, and, like the famous ape, to try conclusions, in the basket creep, and break your own neck down. Queen Gertrude, be thou assured, if words be made of breath, and breath of life, I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me. Hamlet, I must to England, you know that? Queen Gertrude, alack, I had forgot, 'tis so concluded on. Hamlet, there's letters sealed, and my 2 schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will adders fanged, they bear the mandate, they must sweep my way, and marshal me to knavery. Let it work, for 'tis the sport to have the engineer hoist with his own petard, and he shall go hard, but I will delve 1 yard below their mines, and blow them at the moon. Oh, 'tis most sweet, when in 1 line 2 crafts directly meet, this man shall set me packing, I'll lug the guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night. Indeed this counsellor is now most still, most secret and most grave, who was in life a foolish prating knave. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother. Exeunt severally, Hamlet dragging in Polonius. Act 4, Scene 1, a room in the castle. Enter King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern. King Claudius, there's matter in these sighs, these profound heaves, you must translate, 'tis fit we understand them. Where is your son? Queen Gertrude, bestow this place on us a little while. Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Ah, my good lord, what have I seen tonight? King Claudius, what, Gertrude, how does Hamlet? Queen Gertrude, mad as the sea and wind, when both contend which is the mightier, in his lawless fit, behind the arras hearing something stir, whips out his rapier, cries, a rat, and, in this brainish apprehension, kills the unseen good old man. King Claudius, oh heavy did it had been so with us, had we been there, his liberty is full of threat to all, to you yourself, to us, to everyone. Alas, how shall this bloody deed be answered? It will be laid to us, whose providence should have kept short, restrained out of haunt, this mad young man, but so much was our love, we would not understand what was most fit, but, like the owner of a foul disease, to keep it from divulging, let it feed even on the pith of life. Where is he gone? Queen Gertrude, to draw apart the body he had killed, or whom his very madness, like some ore among a mineral of metals base, shows itself pure, he weeps for what is done. King Claudius, O Gertrude, come away, the sun no sooner shall the mountains touch, but we will ship him hence, and this vile deed we must, with all our majesty and skill, both countenance and excuse. Ho, Guildenstern, re-enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, friends both, go join you with some further aid. Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged him, go seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel, I pray you, hasten this. Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Come, Gertrude, we'll call up our wisest friends, and let them know, both what we mean to do, and what's untimely done. Oh, come away, my soul is full of discord and dismay. Exeunt. Scene 2, another room in the castle. Enter Hamlet. Hamlet, safely stowed, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, within. Hamlet, Lord Hamlet, Hamlet, What noise? Who calls on Hamlet? Oh, here they come. Enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Rosencrantz, what have you done, my lord, with the dead body? Hamlet, compounded it with dust. Where to 'tis kin? Rosencrantz, tell us where 'tis, that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel. Hamlet, do not believe it. Rosencrantz, believe what? Hamlet, that I can keep your counsel and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge what application should be made by the son of a king. Rosencrantz, take you me for a sponge, my lord? Hamlet, aye, sir, that soaks up the king's countenance, his woods, his authorities, but such officers do the king best service in the end. He keeps them, like an ape, in the corner of his jaw, first mouth, toe blast swallowed. When he needs what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you, and, sponge, you shall be dry again. Rosencrantz, I understand you not, my lord. Hamlet, I am glad of it, a knavish speech sleeps in a foolish ear. Rosencrantz, my lord, you must tell us where the body is, and go with us to the king. Hamlet, the body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing, Guildenstern, a thing, my lord. Hamlet, of nothing, bring me to him. Hide fox, and all after. Excellent. Scene 3, another room in the castle. Enter King Claudius, attended. King Claudius, I have sent to seek him, and to find the body. How dangerous is it that this man goes loose, yet must not we put the strong law on him? He's loved of the distracted multitude, who light not in their judgment, but their eyes, and where 'tis so, the offender's scourge is weighed, but never the offence, to bear all smooth and even. This sudden sending him away must seem deliberate. Pause. Diseases desperate grown by desperate appliance are relieved, or not at all. Enter Rosencrantz. How now, what hath befallen? Rosencrantz, where the dead body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get from him. King Claudius, but where is he? Rosencrantz, without, my lord, guarded, to know your pleasure. King Claudius, bring him before us. Rosencrantz, ho, Guildenstern, bring in my lord. Enter Hamlet and Guildenstern. King Claudius, now, Hamlet, where's Polonius? Hamlet, at supper. King Claudius, at supper where? Hamlet, not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are e'en at him. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. We fat our creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves for maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar is but variable service, 2 dishes, but to 1 table, that's the end. King Claudius, alas, alas, Hamlet, a man may fish with the worm that hath eat of our king, and eat of the fish that hath fed of that worm. King Claudius, what dost you mean by this? Hamlet, nothing but to show you how our king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar. King Claudius, where is Polonius? Hamlet, in heaven, send hither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him the other place yourself. But indeed, if you find him not within this month, you shall know him as you go up the stairs into the lobby. King Claudius, go seek him there, to some attendance. Hamlet, he will stay till ye come. Exeunt attendants. King Claudius, Hamlet, this deed, for thine especial safety, which we do tender, as we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself, the bark is ready, and the wind at help. The associates tend, and everything is bent for England. Hamlet, for England. King Claudius, I, Hamlet, Hamlet, good, King Claudius, so is it, if thou knewst street our purposes. Hamlet, I see a cherub that sees them, but, come, for England, farewell, dear mother. King Claudius, thy loving father. Hamlet, Hamlet, my mother. Father and mother is man and wife is one flesh, and so, my mother, come, for England. Exit. King Claudius, follow him at foot, tempt him with speed aboard, delay it not, I'll have him hence tonight, away for everything is sealed and done that else leans on the affair, pray you, make haste. Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. And, England, if my love thou hold street at aught, as my great power thereof may give thee sense, since yet thy secretaries looks raw and red after the Danish sword, and thy free or pays homage to us, thou mayst not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports at full, by letters congruing to that effect, the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England, for like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me, till I know 'tis done. How am I haps, my joys were near begun. Exit. Scene 4. A plain in Denmark. Enter Fortinbras, a captain, and soldiers, marching Prince Fortinbras. Go, captain, from me greet the Danish king, tell him that, by his license, Fortinbras craves a conveyance of a promised march over his kingdom. You know the rendezvous. If that his majesty would aught with us, we shall express our duty in his eye, and let him know so. Captain, I will do't, my lord. Prince Fortinbras, go softly on. Excellent. Fortinbras and soldiers enter Hamlet, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and others. Hamlet, good sir, whose powers are these? Captain, they are of Norway, sir. Hamlet, how purposed, sir, I pray you? Captain, against some part of Poland. Hamlet, who commands them, sir? Captain, the nephews to old Norway. Fortinbras, Hamlet, goes it against the main of Poland, sir, or for some frontier? Captain, truly to speak, and with no addition, we go to gain a little patch of ground that hath in it no profit but the name to pay 5 ducats. 5, I would not farm it, nor will it yield to Norway or the Polier anchorate, should it be sold in fee. Hamlet, why, then the Polak never will defend it. Captain, yes, it is already garrisoned. Hamlet, 2,000 souls on 20,000 ducats will not debate the question of this straw. This is the imposthume of much wealth and peace, that inward breaks, and shows no cause without why the man dies. I humbly thank you, sir. Captain, God be with you, sir. Exit. Rosencrantz, wilt please you go, my lord? Hamlet, I'll be with you straight. Go a little before. Exeunt all except Hamlet. How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. What is a man, if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed a beasts? No more sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fast in his unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion, or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which, quartered, hath but one part wisdom and ever 3 parts coward, I do not know why yet I live to say this things to do, sith I have cause and will and strength and means to do't. Examples gross as earth exhort me, witness this army of such mass and charge led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit with divine ambition puffed makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and ensured to all that fortune, death and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honour's at the stake. How stand I then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep while, to my shame, I see the imminent death of 20,000 men, that, for a fantasy and trick of fame, go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth. Exit. Scene 5. Elsinore, a room in the castle. Enter Queen Gertrude, Horatio, and a gentleman. Queen Gertrude, I will not speak with her. Gentleman, she is importunate, indeed distract, her mood will needs be pitied. Queen Gertrude, what would she have? Gentleman, she speaks much of her father, says she hears there's tricks i' the world, and hems, and beats her heart, spurns enviously at straws, speaks things in doubt, that carry but half sense, her speech is nothing, yet the unshaped use of it doth move the hearers to collection, they aim at it, and botch the words up fit to their own thoughts, which, as her winks, and nods, and gesturesse yield them, indeed would make one think there might be thought, though nothing sure, yet much unhappily. Horatio, 'twere good she were spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures in ill-breeding minds. Queen Gertrude, let her come in. Exit. Horatio, to my sick soul, as sin's true nature is, each toy seems prologue to some great amiss, so full of artless jealousy is guilt, it spills itself in fearing to be spilt. Re-enter Horatio, with Ophelia. Ophelia, where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark? Queen Gertrude, how now, Ophelia? Ophelia, sings, how should I your true love know from another one by his cockle hat and staff, and his sandal shoon? Queen Gertrude, alas, sweet lady, what imports this song? Ophelia, say you nay, pray you? Mark, sings, he is dead and gone, lady, he is dead and gone, at his head a grass-green turf, at his heels a stone. Queen Gertrude, nay, but, Ophelia, Ophelia, pray you, Mark, sings, white is shroud as the mountain snow, enter King Claudius. Queen Gertrude, alas, look here, my lord. Ophelia, sings, larded with sweet flowers which wept to the grave did go with true love showers. King Claudius, how do you, pretty lady? Ophelia, well, God iled you. They say the owl was a Bacchus' daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but know not what we may be. God be at your table. King Claudius, conceit upon her father. Ophelia, pray you, let's have no words of this, but when they ask you what it means, say you this, sings tomorrow is Saint Valentine's Day, all in the morning betime, and I'll maid at your window, to be your Valentine. Then up he rose, and donned his clothes, and up the chamber door, let in the maid, that outer maid never departed more. King Claudius, pretty Ophelia, Ophelia, indeed, without an oath, I'll make an end on't, sings, by Jess and by Saint Charity, alack, and fie for shame young men will do't, if they come to't, by cock, they are to blame. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to Wednesday, so would I hard done, by yonder sun, and thou hadst not come to my bed. King Claudius, how long hath she been thus? Ophelia, I hope all will be well. We must be patient, but I cannot choose but weep, to think they should lay him i' the cold ground. My brother shall know of it, and so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach, good night, ladies, good night, sweet ladies, good night, good night. Exit. King Claudius, follow her close, give her good watch, I pray you. Exit Horatio. Oh, this is the poison of deep grief, it springs all from her father's death. O Gertrude, Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not single spies but in battalions. First, her father slain, next, your son gone, and he most violent author of his own just remove, the people mudded, thick and unwholesome in their thoughts and whispers, for good Polonius' death, and we have done but greenly, in hugger, mugger to inter him, poor Ophelia divided from herself and her fair judgment, without the which we are pictures, or mere beasts. Last, and as much containing as all these, her brother is in secret come from France, feeds on his wonder, keeps himself in clouds, and wants not buzzers to infect his ear with pestilent speeches of his father's death, wherein necessity, of matter beggared, will nothing stick our person to arraign in ear and ear. O my dear Gertrude, this, like to a murdering piece, in many places gives me superfluous death, a noise within. Queen Gertrude, alack, what noise is this? King Claudius, where are my Switzers? Let them guard the door. Enter another gentleman. What is the matter, gentleman? Save yourself, my lord. The ocean, overpaying of his lists, eats not the flats with more impetuous haste than young Laertes, in a riotous head, obeys your officers. The rabble call him lord, and, as the world were now but to begin, antiquity forgot, custom not known, the ratifiers and props of every word, they cry choose we, Laertes shall be king, caps, hands, and tongues, applaud it to the clouds. Laertes shall be king, Laertes king. Queen Gertrude, how cheerfully on the false trail they cry, oh, this is counter, you false Danish dogs. King Claudius, the doors are broke, noise within, enter Laertes, armed, Danes following. Laertes, where is this king? Sirs, stand you all without. Danes, no, let's come in. Laertes, I pray you, give me leave. Danes, we will, we will. They retire without the door. Laertes, I thank you, keep the door. O thou vile king, give me my father. Queen Gertrude, calmly, good Laertes, Laertes, that drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard, cries cuckold to my father, brands the harlot even here, between the chaste unsmirched brow of my true mother. King Claudius, what is the cause? Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like. Let him go. Gertrude, do not fear our person, there such divinity doth hedge a king, that treason can but peep to what it would, acts little of his will. Tell me, Laertes, why thou art thus incensed. Let him go. Gertrude, speak, man. Laertes, where is my father? King Claudius, dead. Queen Gertrude, but not by him. King Claudius, let him demand his fill. Laertes, how came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell, allegiance vows, to the blackest devil conscience and grace, to the profoundest pit-eyed damnation. To this point I stand, that both the worlds I give to negligence, let come what comes, only I'll be revenged most thoroughly for my father. King Claudius, who shall stay you? Laertes, my will, not all the world, and for my means, I'll husband them so well, they shall go far with little. King Claudius, good Laertes, if you desire to know the certainty of your dear father's death, is it in your revenge, that, swoop-stake, you will draw both friend and foe, winner and loser? Laertes, none but his enemies. King Claudius, will you know them then? Laertes, to his good friends thus wide I'll ope my arms, and like the kind life-rendering pelican, repass them with my blood. King Claudius, why, now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman that I am guiltless of your father's death, and am most sensible in grief for it. It shall as level to your judgment pierce as they does to your eye. Danes, within, let her come in. Laertes, how now, what noise is that? Re-enter Ophelia. O heat, dry up my brain's tears 7 times salt, burn out the sense and virtue of mine eye by heaven, thy madness shall be paid by weight, till our scale turn abeam. O rose of May, dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia, O heavens, is possible, a young maid's wits should be as moral as an old man's life. Nature is fine in love, and where 'tis fine, it sends some precious instance of itself after the thing it loves. Ophelia sings, they bore him barefaced on the bier. Hey non nonny, nonny, hey nonny, and in his grave reigned many a tear. Fare you well, my dove. Laertes, hadst thou thy wits, and didst persuade revenge, it could not move thus. Ophelia sings, you must sing a down, and you call him a down, oh, how the wheel becomes it. It is the falsest wood, that stole his master's daughter. Laertes, this nothing's more than matter. Ophelia, there's rosemary, that's for remembrance, pray, love, remember, and there is pansies, that's for thoughts. Laertes, a document in madness, thoughts and remembrance fitted. Ophelia, there's fennel for you, and columbines, there's rue for you, and here's some for me. We may call either grace o Sundays, oh you must wear your rue with the difference. There's our daisy, I would give you all some violets, but they withered all when my father did. They say he made a good end, sings, for bonny sweet Robin is all my joy. Laertes, thought and affliction, passion, hell itself, she turns to favour and to prettiness. Ophelia sings, and will he not come again, and will he not come again? No, no, he is dead, go to thy deathbed, he never will come again. His beard was as white as snow, all flaxen was his poll, he is gone, and we cast away moan. God have mercy on his soul and of all Christian souls, I pray God. God be with ye. Exit. Laertes, do you see this, O God? King Claudius, Laertes, I must commune with your grief, or you deny me right. Go but apart, make choice of whom your wisest friends you will, and they shall hear and judge twixt you and me. If by direct or by collateral hand they find us touched, we will our kingdom give, our crown, our life, and all that we can ours, to you in satisfaction. But if not, be you content to lend your patience to us, and we shall jointly labour with your soul to give it due content. Laertes, let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral, no trophy, sword, nor hatchment are his bones, no noble rite nor formal ostentation, cry to be heard, as 'twere from heaven to earth, that I must call't in question. King Claudius, so you shall, and where the offence is let the great axe fall, I pray you, go with me. Excellent. Scene 6, another room in the castle. Enter Horatio and our servant. Horatio, what are they that would speak with me? Servant, sailors, sir, they say they have letters for you. Horatio, let them come in. Exit servant, I do not know from what part of the world he should be greeted, if not from Lord Hamlet. Enter sailors. First sailor, God bless you, sir. Horatio, let him bless thee too. First sailor, he shall, sir, and please him. There's a letter for you, sir, it comes from the ambassador that was bound for England, if your name be Horatio, as I am let to know it is. Horatio, reads, Horatio, when thou shalt have overlooked this, give these fellows some means to the king, they have letters for him. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate of very warlike appointment gave you chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put in our compelled valour, and in the grapple I boarded them. On the instant they got clear of our ship, so alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy, but they knew what they did. I am to do a good turn for them. Let the king have the letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak in thy name will make thee them, yet are they much too light for the bore of the matter. These good fellows will bring thee where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England, of them I have much to tell thee. Fail that thou knowest thine, Hamlet, come, I will make you way for these your letters, and do the speedier, that you may direct me to him from whom you brought them. Excellent. Scene 7. Another room in the castle. Enter King Claudius and Laertes. King Claudius, now must your conscience my acquaintance seal, and you must put me in your heart for friend, so you have heard, and with a knowing ear, that he which hath your noble father slain pursued my life. Laertes, it well appears, but tell me why you proceeded not against these feats, so crimeful and so capital in nature, as by your safety, wisdom, all things else, you mainly were stood up. King Claudius, oh, for 2 special reasons, which may to you, perhaps, seem much unsinewed, but yet to me they are strong. The queen his mother lives almost by his looks, and for myself, my virtue or my plague, be it either which, she's so conjunctive to my life and soul, that, as the star moves not but in his sphere, I could not but by her. The other motive, why to a public count I might not go, is the great love the general gender bear him, who, dipping all his faults in their affection, would, like the spring that turneth wood to stone, convert his gibes to graces, so that my arrows, too slightly timbered for so loud a wind, would have reverted to my bow again, and not where I had aimed them. Laertes, and so have I a noble father lost, a sister driven into desperate terms, whose worth, if praises may go back again, stood challenger on mount of all the age for her perfections, but my revenge will come. King Claudius, break not your sleeps for that, you must not think that we are made of stuff so flat and dull that we can let our beard be shook with danger and think it pastime. You shortly shall hear more. I love your father, and we love ourself, and that, I hope, will teach you to imagine. Enter a messenger. How now, what news? Messenger. Letters, my lord, from Hamlet, this to your majesty, this to the queen. King Claudius, from Hamlet who brought them. Messenger sailors, my lord, they say, I saw them not, they were given me by Claudio, he received them of him that brought them. King Claudius, Laertes, you shall hear them. Leave us. Exit messenger. Reads, high and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall, first asking your pardon thereunto, recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return. Hamlet, what should this mean? Are all the rest come back, or is it some abuse, and no such thing? Laertes, know you the hand. King Claudius, 'tis Hamlet's character, naked and in a postscript here, he says Alona, can you advise me? Laertes, I'm lost in it, my lord, but let him come, it warms the very sickness in my heart, that I shall live and tell him to his teeth, thus diedest thou, King Claudius. If it be so, Laertes, as how should it be so, how otherwise, will you be ruled by me? Laertes, I, my lord, so you will not rule me to a peace. King Claudius, to thine own peace, if he be now returned, as checking at his voyage, and that he means no more to undertake it, I will work him to an exploit, now ripe in my device, under the which he shall not choose but fall, and for his death no wind of blame shall breathe, but even his mother shall uncharge the practice and call it accident. Laertes, my lord, I will be ruled, the rather, if you could devise it so that I might be the organ. King Claudius, it falls right you have been talked of since your travel much, and that in Hamlet's hearing, for a quality wherein, they say, you shine, your sum of parts did not together pluck such envy from him as did that one, and that, in my regard, of the unworthiest siege. Laertes, what part is that, my lord? King Claudius, a very riband in the cap of youth, yet needful too, for youth no less becomes the light and careless livery that it wears than settled age his sables and his weeds, importing health and graveness. 2 months since, here was a gentleman of Normandy, I've seen myself, and served against the French, and they can well on horseback, but this gallant had witchcraft in't, he grew unto his seat, and to such wondrous doing brought his horse, as he had been encorpsed and demi-natured with the brave beasts, so far he topped my thought, that I, in forgery of shapes and tricks, come short of what he did. Laertes, a Norman was't. King Claudius, a Norman. Laertes, upon my life, Lamond. King Claudius, the very same. Laertes, I know him well, he is the brooch indeed and gem of all the nation. King Claudius, he made confession of you, and gave you such a masterly report for art and exercise in your defense and for your rapier most especially, that he cried out, "'Twould be a sight indeed, if one could match you, the scrimmers of their nation," he swore, had neither motion, God, nor I, if you opposed them, sir." This report of his did Hamlet so envenom with his envy that he could nothing do but wish and beg your sudden coming to play with him now. Out of this, Laertes. What out of this, my lord, King Claudius? Laertes, was your father dear to you, or are you like the painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart? Laertes, why ask you this, King Claudius? Not that I think you did not love your father, but that I know love is begun by time, and that I see, in passages of proof, time qualifies the spark and fire of it. There lives within the very flame of love a kind of wick or snuff that will abate it, and nothing is at a like goodness still, for goodness, growing to a pleurisy, dies in his own too much, that we would do we should do when we would, for this would changes and hath abatements and delays as many as there are tongues, our hands, our accidents, and then the should is like a spendthrift sigh, that hurts by easing, but, to the quick the Elsa, Hamlet comes back. What would you undertake, to show yourself your father's son indeed more than in words? Laertes, to cut his throat I the church, King Claudius, no place, indeed, should murder sanctuaries, revenge should have no bounds, but, good Laertes, will you do this? Keep close within your chamber. Hamlet returned shall know you are come home, will put on those shall praise your excellence and set a double varnish on the fame the Frenchman gave you, bring you in fine together and wager on your heads, he, being remiss, most generous and free from all contriving, will not peruse the foils, so that, with ease, or with a little shuffling, you may choose his sword unbaited, and in a pass of practice requite him for your father. Laertes, I will do't, and, for that purpose, I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank, so mortal that, but dip a knife in it, where it draws blood no cataplasm so rare, collected from all simples that have virtue under the moon, can save the thing from death that is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that, if I gall him slightly, it may be death. King Claudius, let's further think of this, weigh what convenience both of time and means may fit us to our shape. If this should fail, and that our drift look through our bad performance, 'twere better not assayed. Therefore this project should have a back or second, that might hold. If this should blast in proof, soft let me see, we'll make a solemn wager on your cunnings. I heart when in your motion you're hot and dry, as make your bouts more violent to that end, and that he calls for drink. I'll have prepared him a chalice for the nonce, whereon but sipping, if he by chance escape your venom stuck, our purpose may hold there. Enter Queen Gertrude. How now, sweet Queen, Queen Gertrude, one woe doth tread upon another's heel, so fast they follow, your sisters round. Laertes, Laertes, drowned. Oh, where, Queen Gertrude? There is a willow grows aslant a brook, that shows his whole leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she come of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples that liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There, on the pendant boughs her coronet weeds clambering to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide, and, mermaid-like, awhile they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and indued unto that element. But long it could not be till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious later muddy death. Laertes, alas, then, she is drowned. Queen Gertrude, drowned, drowned. Laertes, too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears, but yet it is our trick, nature her custom holds, let shame say what it will, when these are gone, the woman will be out. Adieu, my lord, I have a speech of fire, that fain would blaze, but that this folly doubts it. Exit. King Claudius, let's follow. Gertrude, how much I had to do to calm his rage, now fear I this will give it start again, therefore let's follow. Excellent. Act 5, Scene 1, a churchyard. Enter 2 clowns, with spades, and see first clown, issue to be buried in Christian burial at will fully seeks her own salvation. Second clown, I tell thee she is, and therefore make her gravistrate, the crown he hath sat on her, and finds it Christian burial. First clown, How can that be, unless she drowned herself in her own defense? Second clown. Why, 'tis found so. First clown. It must be se offendendo, it cannot be else, for here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act, and an act hath three branches, itis, to act, to do, to perform, argle, she drowned herself wittingly. Second clown. Nay, but hear you, goodman Delver. First clown. Give me leave. Here lies the water, good, Herriston's the man, good, if the man go to this water, and drown himself, it is, will he, nil he, goes, mark you that, but if the water come to him and drown him, he drowns not himself, argle, hath that is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life. Second clown. But is this law? First clown. I, marry, is crown is quest law. Second clown. Will you have the truth on't? If this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried out o Christian burial. First clown. Why, though thou say'st street, and the more pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves, more than they're even Christian. Come, my spade, there is no ancient gentleman but gardeners, ditchers, and grave makers, they hold up Adam's profession. Second clown. Was he a gentleman? First clown. He was the first that ever bore arms. Second clown. Why, he had none. First clown. What, art a heathen? How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture says Adam digged, could he dig without arms? I'll put another question to thee, if thou answerest me not to the propose, confess thyself. Second clown. Go to. First clown. What is he that builds stronger than either Themerson, the shipwright, or the carpenter? Second clown. The gallows maker, for that frame outlives 1,000 tenants. First clown. I like thy wit well, in good faith, the gallows does well, but how does it well? It does well to those that doin. Now thou dost ill to say the gallows is built stronger than the church, argle, the gallows may do well to thee. To't again, come. Second clown. Who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter? First clown. I, tell me that, and unyoke. Second clown. Marry, now I can tell. First clown. Toot. Second clown. Mass, I cannot tell. Enter Hamlet and Horatio, at a distance. First clown. Cudgel thy brains no more about it, for your Dellas will not mend his pace with beating. And, when I are asked this question next, say a grave maker, the houses that he makes last till doomsday. Go, get thee to your inn, fetch me a stop of liquor. Exit second clown. He digs and sings. In youth, when I did love, methought it was very sweet, to contract, oh, the time, for, my behove, oh, methought, there was nothing meet. Hamlet. Has this fellow no feeling of his business, that easing's at grave making? Horatio. Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness. Hamlet. 'Tis e'en so, the hand of little employment hath daintier sense. First clown. Sings, but age, with his stealing steps, hath clawed me in his clutch, and hath shipped me into the land, as if I had never been such. Throws up a skull. Hamlet. That skull had a tongue in it, and could sing once. How the knave jowls it to the ground, as if it were Cain's jawbone, that did the first murder. It might be the pate of a politician, which this is now or reaches, one that would circumvent God, might it not? Horatio. It might, my lord. Hamlet. Or of a courtier, which could say good morrow, sweet lord, how dost thou, good lord? This might my lord such a one, that praised my lord such a one's horse, when he meant to beg it, might it not? Horatio. I, my lord. Hamlet. Why, e'en so, and now my lady worms, chapless, and knocked about the mazzard with a sexton's spade. Here's fine revolution, and we had the trick to's eat. Did these bones cost no more the breeding, but to play at logots with mine ache to think on't. First clown. Sings a pickaxe, and a spade, for and a shrouding sheet, oh, a pit of clay for to be made for such a guest as meet. Throws up another skull. Hamlet. There's another. Why may not that be the skull of a lawyer? Where be his quiddities now, his quillets, his cases, his tenuels, and his tricks? Why does Hesse for this rude knave now to knock him about Thescons with a dirty shovel, and will not tell him off his action of battery? This fellow might bend time a great buyer of land, with his statutes, his recognizances, his fines, his double vouchers, his recoveries. Is this the fine of his fines, and the recovery of his recoveries? to have his finniput full of fine dirt will his vouchers vouch him no more of his purchases, and double ones too, and length and breadth of a pair of indentures, every conveyances of his lands will hardly lie in this box, and must the inheritor himself have no more, Horatio, not a jot more, my lord, Hamlet, is not parchment made of sheepskins, Horatio, aye, my lord, and of calf skins too, Hamlet, they are sheep and calves which seek out assurance in that, I will speak to this fellow, Gravesis, sirrah, first clown, mine, sir, sings, oh, a pit of clay for to be made for such a guest as meet, Hamlet, I think it be thine, indeed, for thou liest in't, first clown, you lie out on't, sir, and therefore it is not his, for my part, I do not lie in't, and yet it is mine, Hamlet, thou dost lie in't, to be in't and say it is thine, 'tis for the dead, not for the quick, therefore thou liest, first clown, 'tis a quick lie, sir, 'twill away gain, from me to Hamlet, what man dost thou dig it for, first clown, for no man, sir, Hamlet, what woman, then, first clown, for none, neither, Hamlet, who is to be buried in't, first clown, one that was a woman, sir, but, rest her soul, she's dead, Hamlet, how absolute the knave is we must speak by thecard, or equivocation will undo us, by the Lord, Horatio, these 3 years I have taken a note of it, the age is grown so picked that the toe of the peasant comes so near the heel of the courtier, Hegef's kibe, how long hast thou been a grave maker, first clown, of all the days I the year, I came to it that day that our last King Hamlet overcame Fortinbras, Hamlet, how long is that since, first clown, cannot you tell that every fool can tell that, it was the very day that young Hamlet was born, he that is mad, and sent into England, Hamlet, aye, marry, why was he sent into England, first clown, why, because he was mad, he shall recover his wits here, or, if he do not, it's no great matter there, Hamlet, why, first clown, 'twill, not be seen in him there the men are as mad as he, Hamlet, how came he mad, first clown, very strangely, they say, Hamlet, how strangely, first clown, faith, e'en with losing his wits, Hamlet, upon what ground, first clown, why, here in Denmark, I have been sexton here, man and boy, 30 years, Hamlet, how long will a man lie I the earth ere he rot, first clown, I faith, if he be not rotten before he die, as where have many pocky courses nowadays, that will scarce hold the laying in, he will last you some 8 year and 9 year, a tanner will last you 9 year, Hamlet, why he more than another, first clown, why, sir, his hide is so tanned with his trade, that will keep out water a great while, and your water is a sore decayer of your horse dead body. Here's a skull now, this skull has lain in the earth 23 years, Hamlet, whose was it, first clown, a horse and mad fellow's it was, whose do you think it was, Hamlet, nay, I know not, first clown, a pestilence on him for a mad rogue poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once, this same skull, sir, was Yorick's skull, the king's jester, Hamlet, this, first clown, e'en that, Hamlet, let me see, takes the skull, alas, poor Yorick, I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jests, of most excellent fancy, he hath borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now, how abhorred in my imagination it is my gorge rims at it, here hung those lips that I have kissed I now let how oft, where be your jibes now your gambols your songs your flashes of merriment, that were wont to set the table on a roar, not on now, to mock your own grinning quite chap fallen now get you to my lady's chamber, and tell her, let it paint an inch thick, to this favour she must comb, make her laugh at that, prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing, Horatio, what's that, my lord, Hamlet, dost thou think Alexander looked o' this fashion I the earth, Horatio, e'en so, Hamlet, and smelt so par, puts down the skull Horatio, e'en so, my lord, Hamlet, to what base uses we may return, Horatio, why may not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander, till he find it stopping a bunghole, Horatio, 'twere to consider too curiously, to consider so, Hamlet, no, faith, not a jot, but to follow him thither with modesty enough, and likelihood to lead it, as thus, Alexander died, Alexander was buried, Alexander returneth into dust, the dust is earth, of earth we make loam, and why of that loam, whereto he was converted, Might they not stop a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that earth, which kept the world in awe, should patch a wall to expel the wind to floor. But soft aside, here comes the king. Enter priests, and see in procession, the courts of Ophelia, Laertes and mourners following, King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, their trains, and see the queen, the courtiers. Who is this they follow, and with such maimed rites? This doth betoken the course they follow did with desperate hand fordo its own life. 'Twas of some estate couch we a while, and mark, retiring with Horatio. Laertes, what ceremony else? Hamlet, that is Laertes, a very noble youth. Mark, Laertes, what ceremony else? First priests, her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranties. Her death was doubtful, and, but that great commander sways the order, she should in ground unsanctified have lodged till the last trumpet, for charitable prayers, shards, flints and pebbles should be thrown on her. Yet here she is allowed her virgin crintz, her maid instruments, and the bringing home of bell and burial. Laertes, must there no more be done? First priests, no more be done. We should profane the service of the dead to sing a requiem and such rest to her as to peace parted souls. Laertes, lay her I the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring. I tell thee, churlish priests, a ministering angel shall my sister be, when thou liest howling. Hamlet, what, the fair Ophelia, Queen Gertrude, sweets to the sweet, farewell, scattering flowers, I hope thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, sweet maid, and not have strewed thy grave. Laertes, oh, treble wherefore 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth awhile, till I have caught her once more in mine arms. Leaps into the grave. Now pile your dust upon the quick and dead, till of this flatter mountain you have made, to o'ertop old Pelion, or the skyish head of blue Olympus. Hamlet, advancing, what is he whose grief bears such an emphasis, whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars, and makes them stand like wonder-wounded hearers? This is I, Hamlet the Dane, leaps into the grave. Laertes, the devil take thy soul, grappling with him. Hamlet, thou pray street not well I prithee, take thy fingers from my throat, for, though I am not splenitive and rash, yet have I something in me dangerous, which let thy wiseness fear. Hold off thy hand. King Claudius, pluck them asunder. Queen Gertrude, Hamlet, Hamlet, all gentlemen, Horatio, good my lord, be quiet. The attendants part them, and they come out of the grave. Hamlet, why I will fight with him upon this theme until my eyelids will no longer wag. Queen Gertrude, O my son, what theme? Hamlet, I loved Ophelia, 40,000 brothers could not, with all their quantity of love, make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her? King Claudius, oh, he is mad. Laertes, Queen Gertrude, for love of God, forbear him. Hamlet, swounds, show me what thou'lt do. Woot weep, woot fight, woot fast, woot tear thyself, woot drink up ice'll eat a crocodile I'll do't. Dost thou come here to whine to outface me with leaping in her grave? Be buried quick with her, and so will I. And, if thou prate of mountains, let them throw millions of acres on us, till our ground, singeing his pate against the burning zone, make us like a wart. Nay, unthought mouth, I'll rant as well as thou. Queen Gertrude, this is mere madness, and thus a while the fit will work on him. Anon, as patient as the female dove, when that her golden couplets are disclosed, his silence will sit drooping. Hamlet, hear you, sir, what is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever, but it is no matter, let Hercules himself do what he may, the cat will mew and dog will have his day. Exit. King Claudius, I pray you, good Horatio, wait upon him. Exit Horatio. To Laertes, strengthen your patience in our last night's speech, we'll put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude, set some watch over your son. This grave shall have a living monument, an hour of quiet shortly shall we see. Till then, in patience our proceeding be. Excellent. Scene 2, a hall in the castle. Enter Hamlet and Horatio. Hamlet, so much for this, sir, now shall you see the other. You do remember all the circumstance? Horatio, remember it, my lord. Hamlet, sir, in my heart there was a kind of fighting, that would not let me sleep. Methought I lay worse than the mutines in the bilboes, rashly, and praised be rashness for it. Let us know, our indiscretion sometimes serves us well, when our deep plots depall, and that should teach us there's a divinity that shapes our ends, rough hew them how we will. Horatio. That is most certain. Hamlet. Up from my cabin, my sea gown scarfed about me, in the dark groped I to find out them, had my desire fingered their packet, and in fine withdrew to mine own room again, making so bold, my fears forgetting manners, to unseal their grand commission, where I found, Horatio, O royal knavery, an exact command, larded with many several sorts of reasons importing Denmark's health and England's too, with, such bugs and goblins in my life, that, on the supervise, no leisure bated, no, not to stay the grinding of the axe, my head should be struck off. Horatio. Is possible. Hamlet. Here's the commission, read it at more leisure, but wilt thou hear me how I did proceed? Horatio. I beseech you. Hamlet. Being thus benetted round with villainies, ere I could make a prologue to my brains, they had begun the play, I sat me down, devised a new commission, wrote it fair, I once did hold it, as our statists do, a baseness to write fair and labored much how to forget that learning, but, sir, now it did me yeoman service, wilt thou know the effect of what I wrote? Horatio. Ay, good my lord. Hamlet. An earnest conjuration from the king, as England was his faithful tributary, as love between them like the power might flourish, as peace should stiff her wheaten garland wherein stand a comma between their amities, and many such, like as is of great charge, that, on the view and knowing of these contents, without debatement further, more or less, he should the bearers put to sudden death, not shriving time allowed. Horatio. How was this sealed? Hamlet. Why, even in that was heaven ordinant I had my father's signet in my purse, which was the model of that Danish seal, folded the writ up in form of the other, subscribed it, gave the impression, placed it safely, the changeling never known. Now, the next day was our sea fight, and what to this was sequent thou know'st street already. Horatio. So Guildenstern and Rosencrantz go to't. Hamlet. Why, man, they did make love to this employment, they are not near my conscience, their defeat does by their own insinuation grow, 'tis dangerous when the baser nature commits between the pass and fell incense points of mighty opposites. Horatio. Why, what a king is this? Hamlet. Does it not, think street thee, stand me now upon, he that hath killed my king and whored my mother, popped in between the election and my hopes, thrown out his angle for my proper life, and with such cozenage, is not perfect conscience, to quit him with this and is not to be damned, to let this canker of our nature come in further evil. Horatio. It must be shortly known to him from England what is the issue of the business there. Hamlet. It will be short, the interim is mine, and a man's life's no more than to say on, but I am very sorry, good Horatio, that to LAERTES, I forgot myself, for, by the image of my cause, I see the portraiture of his, I'll court his favours, but, sure, the bravery of his grief did put me into a towering passion. Horatio. Peace, who comes here? Enter OSRIC. OSRIC. Your lordship is right welcome back to Denmark. Hamlet. I humbly thank you, sir. Dost know this waterfly? Horatio. No, my good lord. Hamlet. Thy state is the more gracious, for 'tis a vice talk know him. He hath much land, and fertile, let a beast be lord of beasts, and his crib shall stand at the king's mess. 'Tis a chuff, but, as I say, spacious in the possession of dirt. Osric. Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty. Hamlet. I will receive it, sir, with all diligence of spirit. Put your bonnet to his right use, 'tis for the head. Osric. I thank your lordship, it is very hot. Hamlet. No, believe me, 'tis very cold, the wind iced northerly. Osric. It is indifferent cold, my lord, indeed. Hamlet. But yet methinks it is very sultry and hot for my complexion. Osric. Exceedingly, my lord, it is very sultry, astweer, I cannot tell how, but, my lord, his majesty bade me signify to you that he has laid a great wager on your head, sir. This is the matter. Hamlet. I beseech you, remember, Hamlet moves him to put on his hat. Osric. Nay, good my lord, for mine ease, in good faith sir, here is newly come to court LAERTES, believe him, an absolute gentleman, full of most excellent differences, of very soft society and great showing, indeed, to speak feelingly of him, he is the cardinal calendar of gentry, for you shall find in him the continent of what part a gentleman would see. Hamlet. Sir, his definement suffers no perdition in you, though, I know, to divide him inventorially will disease the arithmetic of memory, and yet but you're neither, in respect of his quick sale, but, in severity of extolment, I take him to be a soul of great article, and his infusion of such dearth andriness, as, to make true diction of him, his humblable is his mirror, and who else would trace him, his umbrage, nothing more. OSRIC, your lordship speaks most infallibly of him. Hamlet, the concernancy, so why do we wrap the gentleman in armour or a breath? OSRIC, sir, Horatio, is not possible to understand in another tongue you will do't, sir, really. Hamlet, what imports the nomination of this gentleman? OSRIC, of LAERTES. Horatio, his purse is empty already, all's golden words are spent. Hamlet, of him, sir. OSRIC, I know you are not ignorant. Hamlet, I would you did, sir, yet, in faith, if you did, it would not much approve me. Well, sir. OSRIC, you are not ignorant of what excellence LAERTES is. Hamlet, I dare not confess that, lest I should compare with him in excellence, but, to know a man well, would talk now himself. OSRIC, I mean, sir, for his weapon, but in the imputation laid on him by them, in his meed he's unfellowed. Hamlet, what's his weapon? OSRIC, rapier and dagger. Hamlet, that's two of his weapons, but, well, OSRIC, the king, sir, hath wagered with him 6 barbary horses, against the which he has imponed, as I take it, 6 French rapiers and poniards, with thuracins, as girdle, hangers, and so, 3 of the carriages, in faith, are very dear to fancy, very responsive to the hilts, most delicate carriages, and of very liberal conceit. Hamlet, what call you the carriages? Horatio, I knew you must be edified by the margin ere you had done. OSRIC, the carriages, sir, are the hangers. Hamlet, the phrase would be more German to the matter, if we could carry cannon by our sides, I would it might hang us till then, but, on 6 Barbary horse against 6 French swords, there are signs, and 3 liberal conceited carriages, that's the French bit against the Danish. Why is this imponed, as you call it? OSRIC, the king, sir, hath laid, that in a dozen passes between yourself and him, he shall not exceed your 3 hits, he hath laid on 12 for 9, and it wold come to immediate trial, if your lordship wold vouchsafe the answer. Hamlet, how if I answer no? OSRIC, I mean, my lord, the opposition of your person in trial. Hamlet, sir, I will walk here in the hall, if it please his majesty, 'tis the breathing time of day with me, let the foils be brought, the gentleman willing, and the king hold his purpose, I will win for him on I can, if not, I will gain nothing but my shame and the odd hits. OSRIC, shall I redeliver you e'en so? Hamlet, to this effect, sir, after what flourish your nature will. OSRIC, I commend my duty to your lordship. Hamlet, yours. Exit OSRIC, he does well to commend it himself, there are nottings else for's turn. Horatio, this lapwing runs away with the shell on his head. Hamlet, he did comply with his dug, before he sucked it thus has he, and many more of the same bevy that eke now the dressy age dotes on, only got the tune off the time and outward habit of encounter, a kind of feisty collection, which carries them through and through the most fond and winnowed opinions, and do but blow them to their trial. The bubbles are out, enter a lord. Lord my lord, his majesty commended him to you by young OSRIC, who brings back to him that you attend him in the hall, he sends to know if your pleasure hold to play with LAERTES, or that you will take longer time. Hamlet, I am constant to my purpose, they follow the king's pleasure, if his fitness speaks, mine is ready, now or whensoever, provided I be so able as now, Lord the king and queen and all are coming down. Hamlet, in happy time, Lord the queen desires you to use some gent entertainment to LAERTES before you fall to play. Hamlet, she well instructs me. Exit Lord. Horatio, you will lose this wager, my lord. Hamlet, I do not think so, since he went into France, I have been in continual practice, I shall win at Theods, but thou wouldst not think how he laws here about my heart, but it is no matter. Horatio, nay, good my lord. Hamlet, it is but foolery, but it is such a kind of gain-giving, as would perhaps trouble a woman. Horatio, if your mind dislike anything, obey it, I will for rest all their repair hither, and say you are not fit. Hamlet, not a whit, we defy augury, there's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come, if it be not to come, it will be now, if it be not now, yet it will come, the readiness is all, since no man has aught of what he loves, what is to leave betimes. Enter King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, Laertes, lords, OSRIC, and attendants with foils, and see King Claudius. Come, Hamlet, come, and take this hand from me. King Claudius puts Laertes' hand into Hamlet's. Hamlet, give me your pardon, sir, I've done you wrong, but pardoned, as you are a gentleman this presence knows, and you must needs have heard, how I am punished with sore distraction. What I have done, that mightier nature, honor and exception roughly awake, I here proclaim was madness. Was Hamlet wronged Laertes? Never Hamlet, if Hamlet from himself be ta'en away, and when he's not himself does wrong Laertes, then Hamlet does it not, Hamlet denies it. Who does it, then? His madness, if it be so, Hamlet is of the faction that is wronged, his madness is poor Hamlet's enemy. Sir, in this audience, let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me so far in your most generous thoughts, that I have shot mine arrow o'er the house, and hurt my brother. Laertes, I am satisfied in nature, whose motive, in this case, should stir me most to my revenge, but in my terms of honour stand aloof, and will no reconcilement, till by some elder masters, of known honour, I have a voice and precedent of peace, to keep my name ungawed, but till that time, I do receive your offered love like love, and will not wrong it. Hamlet, I embrace it freely, and will this brother's wager frankly play. Give us the foils. Come on, Laertes, come, one for me. Hamlet, I'll be your foil. Laertes, in mine ignorance your skill shall, like a star I the darkest night, stick fiery off indeed. Laertes, you mock me, sir. Hamlet, no, by this hand. King Claudius, give them the foils, young OSRIC. Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager. Hamlet, very well, my lord, your grace hath laid the odds o' the weaker side. King Claudius, I do not fear it, I have seen you both, but since he is bettered, we have therefore odds. Laertes, this is too heavy, let me see another. Hamlet, this likes me well. These foils have all the length, they prepare to play. OSRIC, I, my good lord. King Claudius, set me the stoups of wine upon that table. If Hamlet give the first or second hit, or quit in answer of the third exchange, let all the battlements their ordnance fire, the king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath, and in the cup an union shall he throw, richer than that which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. Give me the cups, and let the kettle to the trumpet speak, the trumpet to the cannoneer without, the cannons to the heavens to earth. Now the king dunks to Hamlet, come, begin, and you, the judges, bear our wary eye. Hamlet, come on, sir. Laertes, come, my lord, they play. Hamlet, 1. Laertes, number. Hamlet, judgment. OSRIC, a hit, a very palpable hit. Laertes, well, again. King Claudius, stay, give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine, here's to thy health. Trumpets sound, and cannon shot off within. Give him the cup. Hamlet, I'll play this bout first, set it by a while. Come, they play. Another hit, what say you? Laertes, a touch, I do confess. King Claudius, our son shall win. Queen Gertrude, he's fat, and scant of breath here. Hamlet, take my napkin, rub thy brows, the queen carouses to thy fortune. Hamlet, good madam. King Claudius, Gertrude, do not drink. Queen Gertrude, I will, my lord, I pray you, pardon me. King Claudius, aside, it is the poisoned cup, it is too late. Hamlet, I dare not drink yet, madam, by and by. Queen Gertrude, come, let me wipe thy face. Laertes, my lord, I'll hit him now. King Claudius, I do not think't. Laertes, aside, and yet 'tis almost 'gainst my conscience. Hamlet, come, for the third. Laertes, you but dally, I pray you, pass with your best violence, I am afeard you make a wanton of me. Laertes, say you so. Come on, they play. OSRIC, nothing, neither way. Laertes, have at you now. Laertes wounds Hamlet, then in scuffling, they change rapiers, and Hamlet wounds Laertes. King Claudius, part them, they are incensed. Hamlet, nay, come, again. Queen Gertrude falls. OSRIC, look to the queen there, ho, Horatio, they bleed on both sides, how is it, my lord, Osric, how is, Laertes, Laertes, why, as a woodcock to mine own springe, Osric, I am justly killed with mine own treachery, Hamlet, how does the queen, King Claudius, she swounds to see them bleed, Queen Gertrude, no, no, the drink, oh my dear Hamlet, the drink, I am poisoned, dies, Hamlet, oh villainy, ho let the door be locked, treachery, seek it out, Laertes, it is here, Hamlet, Hamlet, thou art slain, no medicine in the world can do thee good, in thee there is not half an hour of life, the treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed, the foul practice hath turned itself on me lo, here I lie, never to rise again, thy mother's poisoned, I can no more, the king's to blame, Hamlet, the point, in venom to then, venom, to thy work, stabs King Claudius, all, treason, King Claudius, oh, yet defend me, friends, I am but hurt, Hamlet, here, thou incestuous, murderous, damned, drink off this potion, is thy union here follow my mother, King Claudius dies, Laertes, he is justly served, it is a poison tempered by himself exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet, mine and my father's death come not upon thee, nor thine on me, dies, Hamlet, heaven make thee free of it, I follow thee I am dead, Horatio, wretched queen, adieu you that look pale and tremble at this chance, that but mutes or orders to this act, had I but time, as this fell sergeant, death, is strict in his arrests, oh, I could tell you, but let it be, Horatio, I am dead, thou livest, report me and my cause aright the unsatisfied, Horatio, never believe it, I am more an antique Roman than a Dane, here's yet some liquor left, Hamlet, as thought a man, give me the cup, let go, by heaven, I'll have't oh good Horatio, what a wounded name, things standing thus unknown, shall live behind me if thou didst ever hold me in thy heart absently from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain, to tell my story, march afar off, and shot within, what warlike noise is this, Osric, one Fortinbras, with conquest come from Poland, to the ambassadors of England gives this warlike volley, Hamlet, oh, I die, Horatio, the potent poison quite o'ercrows my spirit, I cannot live to hear the news from England, but I do prophesy the election lights on Fortinbras, he has my dying voice, so tell him, with the occurrence, more and less, which have solicited, the rest is silence, dies, Horatio, now cracks our noble heart, good night sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest why does the drum come hither, march within, enter Fortinbras, the English ambassadors, and others, Prince Fortinbras, where is this sight, Horatio, what is it ye would see if aught of woe or wonder, cease your search, Prince Fortinbras, this quarry cries on havoc, O proud death, what feast is toward in thine eternal cell, that thou so many princes at a shot so bloodily hast struck, first ambassador, the sight is dismal, and our affairs from England come too late, the ears are senseless that should give us hearing, to tell him his commandment is fulfilled, that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, where should we have our thanks, Horatio, not from his mouth, had it the ability of life to thank you, he never gave commandment for their death but since, so jump upon this bloody question, you from the Polack wars, and you from England, are here arrived give order that these bodies high on a stage be placed to the view, and let me speak to the yet unknowing world how these things came about, so shall you hear of carnal, bloody, and unnatural acts, of accidental judgments, casual slaughters, of deaths put on by cunning and force cause, and, in this upshot, purposes mistook found on the inventor's reeds, all this can I truly deliver, Prince Fortinbras, let us haste to hear it, and call the noblest to the audience for me, with sorrow I embrace my fortune, I have some right of memory in this kingdom, which now to claim my vantage doth invite me, Horatio, of that I shall have also cause to speak, and from his mouth whose voice will draw on more, but let this same be presently performed, even while men's minds are wild, lest more mischance on plots and errors, happen, Prince Fortinbras, let 4 captains bear Hamlet, like a soldier, to the stage, for he was likely, had he been put on, to have proved most royally, and, for his passage, the soldiers' music and the rites of war speak loudly for him take up the bodies, Such a sight as this becomes the field, but here shows much amiss. Go, bid the soldiers shoot, a dead march, exeunt, bearing off the dead bodies, after which a peal of ordnance is shot off.